hazy this morning.
It is. And we're back to buffering.
Yeah.
I've got no comments pulling up. Lorraine says, Hear you guys. Awesome.
Good deal.
See if YouTube will pull up.
Yeah, we just left the truck show, got us some fuel, now we're heading back home. It's kind of bittersweet leaving truck shows like that. You know, everybody's like family. It's like having to say goodbye to family after
That's
a
not
visit,
really
you know.
goodbye.
You know what I mean?
I know. Guys, I'm still waiting for YouTube to pull up comments.
Everybody goes their separate ways.
And now,
Back to living life. Hitting that grindstone.
Kathy says, can hear you on Facebook. Good deal. YouTube's the one that's being kind of rotten this morning. Hopefully comments start pulling up soon. Austin says, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Jeff
Yeah.
Trigg says, good morning, G. Safe travels.
Yeah, we had a great time this weekend. We did win. We won some trophies. That was pretty neat.
Oh, that's
Didn't go there
pretty
for no trophies, but still kind of neat. What's it called? We won the tire shine, ride and shine. Got a big old trophy, taller than Mrs. G,
Yeah.
and won $500 that we were able to give back to the Children's Hospital. Or no, that went to
it
went to the children. It went to, what was the name of the place?
Oh.
Something Sparrow.
I can't remember. I knew it. And then you asked.
I did. I'll have to ask Ann again.
But it went
Or
to...
Lee. Battered women and
children.
And children.
Van said the organization is really needing the donations because, you know, women and children are coming in and a lot of the children don't have clothes, you know, in a situation like that with domestic violence and battery.
The money from the convoy yesterday went to the Children's Hospital.
Yes, but, you know, they basically leave with little to nothing, just themselves and their kiddos.
And then also won the Trucker of the Year award. That came with $500. And we was able to donate that right back also. So that was awesome. That was really cool.
Austin says, hard to believe it is almost noon already. I know.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
City Tour says, good morning. Love y'all. I love the phone. Kelly says, ooh, it is a bit foggy out.
That's a little bit.
Lee says, hello.
How you doing?
Lisa says, good morning, G's from Kansas. Good
How you
morning,
doing?
hon. Karen says, moving the fifth wheel suit. Still waiting on the electric company. Edie says, morning, G's. Congratulations on the wins. Can we get a picture of Mr. G with the trophies? Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we would have took one while we were there, but it was pretty muddy, and I didn't want to set the trophies down in the mud.
And thank you for the stars, hon. Star salute.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Buckeye says, can hear you too. Hear you too. Italian Princess says, morning, G's and G family. Look at that fog. Evelyn says, good morning, G's. Glad you had a good time. Proud of Mr. G getting Trucker of the Year and donating his money award. You two are the best.
You just got to do it tonight. I'd love to see more people do the same thing.
Sue McGee says, good morning, G's and G-Force. Wow, thick fog. Melody says, I like the way they did the quarter drop.
Oh, yeah.
In the buckets, that was pretty neat. Kelly says, wow, that is awesome on the awards. Well deserved and earned. Thank you, hon. Cindy says, thank you for donating all that back to them. It's the thing to do. We're there for the children.
Yeah, we didn't go there to win anything.
Chris says, hello, G's and G-Force family. City Buck says, when my granny died, she insisted that her clothes go to a shelter for battered women.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Amen. Joyce says, Bobby and Joyce, congratulations. Thank you, hon.
Thank you, Bobby and Joyce.
Jess says, seen the sideline video of all the trucks in town. Love all the horns.
Yeah, it was great to see all the people come together and stand down the street and enjoy the trucks coming through. It's always but it's really special to see the adults light up like a little kid. You know, us as adults, we don't get those joys in our life as much as we should.
Not like when we were children. City Buck says Trucker of the Year. Duh, we knew that. Thank you, hon. Char says, good morning, G's. Love you guys. Congratulations on the wins. Thank you,
Thank you,
sweetheart.
guys.
Kara says, good morning, G's. Good morning. Mary says, have safe travels. Thank you, hon. Leroy says, good morning, my G's. G family, that's a good thing to do. Pay it forward. That's God's blessing. That fog is the worst thing in the world when you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Jen Hart says, good morning, G's.
Good morning.
Sue C says, hi guys. Is that fog or smoke? Drive safe.
It's
Who's fog, hon? Sue McGee says, congratulations on your wins and all you do for the children. And all
Thanks,
you do for the children. Thank you, hon. And thank you for the stars, too. Stars.
Thank you, baby.
Michelle Brandon says, good morning, G's and family. Good morning, hon.
We had a good breakfast with good company this morning. And it was great.
Daniel said, Trucker of the Year, congrats. Thank you, Daniel. Missy says, good morning, G's and G-Force family.
Enjoyed
Good
spending time with
morning.
Idella. Idella, she cracks me up. She's been doing
She's
this.
so silly.
She's been driving for 54 years. She's vice president of Real Women in Trucking.
Yep.
And I don't know. I talk about people putting a smile on adults' face. She puts a smile on my face.
She does. City Hume says, good morning. Where are you headed? We're headed back to the RV. Barbara P says, hello, G's. Well, hello, sweetheart. Jen Hart says, you both be doing for Truckers Thanksgiving this year since you got a lot going on. Yeah, the Truckers holidays are a go.
I don't make many promises in life, but I promise that one's going to go as long as I'm breathing.
Yeah, that's something that, is near and dear to our heart, and we wanted to do it for a very long time since she has been a driver for a very long time.
We've been doing it the past few years.
And we know how hard it is for drivers to be out there during the holidays away from their families, and you know how much it takes a toll on their mental health. So just a little something to make the driver smile. Jen Hart says that's good. Kathy says, good morning, G's. What fun time for you this weekend in spite of the rain.
Yeah, we had a good time.
It was a very good time. Everyone's all decorated for Halloween. Louise says, good afternoon to my favorite two people in the truck with you from PA.
Awesome.
Good morning. Or good afternoon. Cindy Hume says, be safe getting back. We will,
Oh, yeah.
sweetie.
We're in no big hurry.
Michelle Tyler says, good morning. Have a safe trip home. Congrats on the wins.
Thank you.
Sweetheart. Jen Hart says, I know my husband be home after being out there for every holiday, so I'm glad he will be taking the holidays off. That's good. That's good. Cindy Ackerman says hello, or morning from Kansas. Good morning, hon. Kentucky Redneck says, go figure, YouTube not sending out live notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way I am, I reckon.
Happy birthday, Birdine.
Happy birthday, Birdie.
She has not commented yet, but I see that she is watching. It was great music, great people to be around. We had a great time.
Reminds you of the old days.
Mary says, Mr. G, have you ever heard of Tamara, the truck driver from Texas? She is my cousin.
Not from Texas. I don't.
Tamara that's in Oklahoma.
Tamara that's Oklahoma. That was on. What was she on? She was on
Shipping Wars.
She's a good friend of hers. She's a sweetheart.
Sherry says, hi guys, safe travels. Had loads of fun yesterday. Oh, I'm glad you did, hon. Jen Hart says, we'll have a good trip and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlotte says, good morning, G's and fours. Congratulations. Thank you for giving back to the children. Made me cry. Kelsey says, good morning from Waverly, Tennessee. Treasure University. Please be careful. We will, sweetheart.
No, I'm glad you showed up. Yeah. Good.
Michelle says, is the diesel shortage coming for real? What we've been hearing.
Oh, they have followed you again?
Guys, do me a favor. Remember, if you're not getting a notification on either the channel or the page,
Thank you, sir.
double back and go check them out and make sure that you haven't been unfollowed, unliked, or unsubscribed. Because I hear G having a conversation right now where sounds like someone got unfollowed and unliked.
Yeah.
So, double check it, guys. Doug Mary says, good afternoon. Hope the rest of your weekend is good. Enjoy your day. Love and hugs from Ohio. Much love to you, hun. We're looking forward to being able to spend Halloween with our kiddos and our great kiddos. Pretty excited about that. Billy Hanks says, be safe. Raining in Georgia, too. I don't know. I might have to go to Walmart and see if they might have one of them onesies outfits to wear.
Yep.
I had a panda one, but, you know, it went with everything else.
Oh, definitely.
Hopefully tomorrow's not rainy and dank and dreary. Or at least just dry. Jennifer Deck says, hey, good morning to Mr. and Mrs. G and family. Well, looks like you're headed out, and so are we, headed to Florida now. What an awesome place this was. Everybody have a safe travel on Sunday. Love y'all, Daisy. Much love to you, sweetheart.
Happy birthday.
Sherry Beeman says, good morning. I went back and watched your video, G. I loved it. You were great.
You too.
What's the name of the brand? They were great. Love it all. Be safe. Hope you had a good breakfast. We did have a great breakfast at IHOP. And the name of the band was the Cripple Creek Band. Cripple Creek Gang. If I can ever get the words out. Judy says, getting to rain here in Ohio. Cindy Buck says, you need a bunny suit.
A bunny suit.
A bunny suit.
Playboy bunny suit.
No, I was talking about one of those onesies.
I was getting a visual.
I think it'd be a wee bit chilly to be walking around in a Playboy bunny costume.
I'll warm you up.
Michelle Brandon says, congrats, G's, on the wins. The G-Force already knows y'all are number one. Thank you, sweetheart.
The trophies and stuff, that's great and all, whatever, I just thought it was really cool that we won the money and was able to donate it back. That's the part that really was a highlight for me.
Shar says, good morning, Sis Sue. Good morning, hon. Jody says, yummy IHOP. Mary says, Tamara could be out of Oklahoma. She was raised in Texas.
Okay.
City Hume says, be safe getting home. Thank you, hon. Berdine says, hey, hey, from southeast South Dakota. Julie says, have you heard about diesel shortages coming in November?
We have.
KR says, more rain, safe drive back home. Hugs to all, and TT and Mooch. Much love to you guys. Judy says, oh my, liquid sunshine. Have a safe day. Thank you, hon. Diane says, congrats again, G's, on your awards.
Thank you.
Especially Trucker of the Year. So cool. Well deserved. Love you guys. Much love to you, hon. Cindy Buck says, G's bunny suit is for after dark.
long as I close my eyes, it's always dirt.
Dan says hi. Well, hello, Dan. Marianne says that's awesome on the win and donating it back. You guys are good-hearted people. Oh, thank you. We do what we can, hon. We do what we can. I see Paul French is watching.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, he's probably getting ready to take a nap after that breakfast this
I
morning.
don't blame him. I'm halfway there myself.
Michelle Brandon says, I love how so many followed y'all's donations. It's all about the kids.
Yeah,
It
that
is.
was neat.
Shar says, good morning, Sisu. Barbara says, morning/afternoon. Safe travels home. Are you going to the RV?
Yes.
Yes. We're heading to the RV. Ed Rogers, thank you for the stars, hon. Star salute.
Thank you.
City Buck says, gee, close your eyes and feel your way. Barbara, thank you for the stars, hon. Star salute.
Thank you, sir. I thought he was done with the rain.
So did I. Says Wide Road, greetings from Poland. Well, greetings
How you
back at
doing?
you, hon. Andrew Denzel says, good afternoon, G. Safe travels. Thank you, honey. Good afternoon to you. Paul French says, shower and nap time.
We're going to have to get a hold of Peter. Speaking of Poland, we never did get our Polish vodka.
Oh, that hazelnut vodka
Oh,
was
wasn't that good?
the bomb. I've never had anything like it. It was delicious. Wendy says, stopping in to say hello. Another beautiful day here in Maine. Well, hello, Miss Wendy. Mary said, so what are you cooking tonight? I don't know.
I'm still full for breakfast, so I haven't even thought about something
Hasn't
yet.
processed. Don Manny says, good morning, G's. Hope you had a fun time. We had a great time. Bernine says, I'm having the most wonderful birthday. Only thing missing is a chocolate cake. LOL.
Well, come on down. We'll remedy that.
Shar says, Mr. and Mrs. G, my niece that had brain surgery, she is doing very well. That is great news,
Good.
Shar. We'll continue to keep her in our prayers, sweetheart. This weather just makes you sleepy, makes you just want to cuddle up in bed and not move from there. What does that
Telling
look
me.
for? I
You're
just got the
telling me.
look.
You're telling me. I was thinking about nap time. We've driven a whole, 20 miles. And I'm already thinking about nap time. That ain't good.
No. George Sutton says, good morning, G family and G Force. I tried to find you all on my new Moto G stylus phone because my old Galaxy S8 isn't supported by Cricket anymore. But I was rejected from joining G family. Anyways, have a wonderful day.
I'm not on the...
We don't moderate the G family page,
that's
sweetie.
not our page.
That I was actually started by Yvonne, and I know the mods on it are Mike Foley and Sue McGee.
We have no say-so over that page at all whatsoever.
Shar says, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. G. You're welcome, honey. They have dragons outside their house. That's cool. And they light up. The mouths are lit up. Mr. Bob said, yo, G, sup?
What's
Next-
going on? You're live.
And you're welcome for the shout out. Denise Nutter says, remember what happened a couple weeks ago when you stopped for a break and nap time?
Oh, yeah. Maybe it is time for a 30-minute break.
Oh, my eyes itchy. City Buck says, rain makes me sleepy too. I know when weather is coming because my body hurts.
Oh, weather must be coming every day because my body hurts every day.
Have a blessed day. You too,
also.
sweetheart, and good afternoon. Boy, Mom says, hey guys, had a late night, just now waking up. What's up, G's and family?
How you doing?
We're just heading home, sweetheart. Mr. Bob says, what advice do you have for driving in the rain?
Slow her down, keep your Jake brakes off. Number 2 right there. Don't get in no hurry.
Sherry Beeman says we're supposed to be getting rain here too. Hey G, what did you win the trophy on?
We won a trophy on Pride and Shine for a tire shine. We won a trophy and $500 cash that we donated back to
the kids,
and battered women. And then we won a trophy for Trucker of the Year and $500. We donated that back to the same organization. Something Sparrow. I cannot remember the name.
A man told us this morning, and I cannot either, but it helps battered women and children.
Children in need.
Yes. Get the things that they need. Especially coming out of a situation
and then
like that.
We won top 20.
Yep.
Trophy for top 20.
Mary says, sun is shining bright here in Michigan.
So we
Enjoy
won
it.
three trophies and $1,000.
Sue says, I'm back. Oh, I'm back. Or, okay, it's not letting me scroll back. Okay, I'm back. Linda says, watching from Ontario, Canada. Well, much love to our Canadian brothers and sisters. Jeff says, sunny side up, level.
That's bottom.
What?
Yeah.
You're going to ask me?
Of course I am.
Well, I figured you would. Mr. Bob says, congrats on your recognition as #1 driver. Thank you. Boy, Mom says, that's awesome, Trucker G. Thank you, hon. Ted says, awesome, you deserve all of it. Thank you, hon. Penny says, congrats, G's. Thank you. Jessica says, how far do you all have to drive to be home? Like 199 miles.
What was the name of that organization again, the charity?
Judy says,
The Sparrow one.
Sunny at 86 here, South or Southern
Sparrow's
California.
Promise.
Sparrow's Promise.
I could not remember we were talking about it. Neither one of us could remember we knew the Sparrow's on.
We need the Sparrow part.
Okay. All right. Thank you, brother.
Berdine says, stay awake, slow down, and pay attention to everything.
Yeah, Sparrow's Promise. And that's
good,
an everyday
solid
thing.
advice.
That's an everyday thing.
Donna says, congratulations. Thank you, hon. Kathy says, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon to ya. Tracy says, beautiful sunny day in Central PA. Be safe. Thank you, sweetheart. Brad says, hello, guys. Beautiful day here in Brookings, Oregon. Diane says, hi from, I don't know how to say that, something Saskatchewan. Much love to you. Barbara says, you'll need to put a shelf up for your trophies. I don't know that one trophy, like G said, it's taller than I am. I think it probably don't need a very tall shelf. Allison says, good afternoon, G's from Ontario. Good afternoon. Chris Johnson says, congratulations on your trophies. Thank you, hon. Jessica says, also, congrats. Thank you. Penny says, are you heading home? Or are you heading for a delivery? We're heading home, sweetie. Sherry Beeman says, congratulations. We all know you're Trucker of the Year. That's every year. And that's the Bull Snot Tire Cleaner.
Oh, I'm sure there's more guys out there that deserve it more than I did.
Barbara says, it's sunny at 60 up in Maine. Awesome. Elizabeth says, I hope you had a nice weekend. Congrats on all the wins. You are a good man to give back to the kids. Jennifer says, wish me luck driving on sand. I hate this. You be careful, Missy. Misty says, good morning, G's. Judy says, whoop whoop, winner for a chicken dinner. Congrats. Thank you. Berdine says, y'all have my heart for a trophy. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Tiffany says, just got off work. Hey, Tiff. Boy, Mom said, show us trophies when you get home, please.
We can do that.
We can do that. Good morning, or good afternoon, JJ.
Probably just have to set them up in the living room in the camper.
Yeah. Dave Newland says, little rain in Illinois. Hey, Dave. Sherry Beeman says, please take a picture of the trophies. How are you getting the big trophy home? It is currently laid across the bed.
It's laying in bed.
It's in bed. Cheryl says, hi. From Ohio. My water heater busted and no funds to fix it. I need a miracle. Say a prayer. We'll keep you in our prayers, sweetheart.
Should have said something. I just gave one away.
Yeah. Kathleen says, good afternoon, G's and G-Force. Watching you while making my chicken and dumplings.
Go to the marketplace and there's a good possibility you'll find somebody giving one away.
This was a fantastic weekend. It did my heart good. Congratulations on your wins. Your heart must feel full giving back so much.
Yeah.
We do what we can, sweetheart.
Matter of fact, where are you out of? We got another water heater.
Yeah, that one is an electric water
We got
heater.
an electric one. We had a propane one. What did we get with propane water heater?
Regan, yeah. Pam says, morning families, congratulations. Kids are very important, little people. Safe travels, love you guys. Much love to you, hon. Jan says, hi from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
How you doing?
Hey, Jan. Darlene says, God bless you and congratulations. Thank you, sweetheart. Mr. Bob says, do you consider yourself to be a part of the supply chain?
We're
Yeah.
truck drivers are
a
integral
big part of
integral
the supply
part of the
chain.
supply chain. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm just saying that they're a major part of the supply chain. Supplies don't do no good if you can't get them from point A to point B.
My mom says, trophy taking a nap. Does it have earplugs in so we don't wake it up? JJ says, no one hit the Powerball. It's up to $1 billion for tomorrow night. Hope Face says, afternoon, Mr. and Mrs.
You
G.
won't have to worry about me winning tonight. I don't play.
Have a great, wonderful day. Congratulations, Mr. G. You deserve it. Watching from Palm Beach, Florida. Sunny and warm. It's 84 degrees. Well, enjoy that beautiful sunny weather. Sherry Beeman says, no, G, you do deserve it. You do a lot, not just trucking. You're very much appreciated. Love you both.
All those
Love you
others
too.
that do just as much, if not more.
Mr. Bob asked, have you ever transported automobiles?
No, I don't do automobiles. When I was a kid, though, that's what my mom and stepdad did. They had their own brokerage. It was Western Auto Brokers, and that's what they did is hauled automobiles. Car haulers, cargonomics, whatever y'all call them.
Brad said, you guys still able to make a good living with these horrible fuel prices?
It's really tough. It's very tough. It's going to get worse, guys. It's going to get a whole lot worse. And when it gets worse on truck drivers, it gets worse on
It's going to
everybody.
trickle down, guys. City Taurus says 69 here in New Mexico today. Deanna says, congratulations on your trophies, Mr. and Mrs. G. Thank you. Vivian says, yeah, all day and all night. You be careful out there,
Right on,
sweetie.
man.
Monica says, good
Appreciate what you
afternoon.
do.
Good afternoon from Iroquois Falls,
Good luck
Ontario,
for,
Canada.
What for gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen like that? None of us truck drivers should be rolling.
Oh no. Mr. Bob says, what's inside your refrigerator right now? Dr. Thunder.
Dr. Thunder.
Francis says, hi, G's. That convoy was awesome for the kids. And congrats on the
I think
trophy.
Dr. Thunder and a summer sausage.
There's some pepperoni in there, too.
Some pepperoni.
Some guac and cottage cheese. Alan says, have you ever held...
We've got a deep freeze back there too, guys.
Yes. Have you ever held seal before?
What?
Seal? Like, I'm guessing like the animal in seal?
No, I've never held a seal.
Or I could be completely wrong. Jordan says, good morning, G's. Family, be careful in that weather.
We used to have a seal skin hanging on our wall when I was a kid.
Mr. Bob says, team Dr. Thunder. Jeanette says, so how bad is the diesel shortage? I'm in Missouri and expecting food shortage.
Well, I mean, if we run out of fuel,
It's going to be shortage of everything.
yeah, it's going to be real bad. It's going to be worse than what it was during
During the pandemic.
during the pandemic.
Because there ain't nothing going to get from point A to point B because there's not going to be anything to get these trucks out there going, or, you know, anything that is reliant on diesel and gas.
Which is everything.
Brad said, they say we are going to run out of diesel by November 24th. What have you heard?
Well, I've heard the same thing. I mean, you guys got to remember that we and pumping, and we're still doing some pumping. We're still doing pumping, not as much pumping as we should be doing. We're still doing importing, which we should be just pumping here and being self-reliant.
So we don't have the
But-
situation.
They're saying November 25th because that's what we have in reserve right now. If we were to get another drop from any other source, we have enough to last us till November 25th is what they failed to mention.
Cindy says, I just ordered 2,000 gallons of diesel for work and ordering another 1,500 gallons this coming week.
Yeah, that's depends on what you got. That ain't gonna last very long. I know that won't last me very long.
Linda said, so proud of the G's with their trophies. Great
And
job.
be careful with that, guys. I mean, look what happened during the pandemic, and everybody started panic buying, and the shelves were empty.
Then it'll
If
happen
everybody
a
and
lot
their
sooner.
mother does the same thing like that, then we will run out.
Linda says, so proud of the G's with their trophies. Great job. Y'all are the best, and much love to you. Much love to you too, sweetie. Barbara says, my daughter heats her home with K1 kerosene. The company she gets it from told her there is going to be a shortage on it. How in the world are people supposed to survive this mess?
Yeah, good luck. I wish I had a better answer for you.
Jen says, congratulations. So proud of you and your win. Thank you, hon. Jeff says, it was nice to see another W990 at the show. Large, rare breed. Love them. It was actually
about
two.
$3.
Was there three?
Well, we're the third.
Okay. Because I was going to say there was two besides ours. I seen the one right next to us that was like more of a tealy blue, and then that
Black and green.
black
not
and green one. Yeah. Dave Newland says, grab the summer sausage, LOL. Prince Heather says, hello, good afternoon. Well, hello. Cindy said, just heads up, this winter is going to be very rough due to a lot of special force / military stuff going on. Lori says, good morning, G's. Trying to come to life.
This winter's gonna be rough. Beside that, I mean, you're talking about fuel shortages, and that brings just them talking about it brings the price. It's gonna bring the price up. I mean, look what happened earlier this year when they just talked about having an embargo with Russia on oil prices, on oil.
And it impacted our prices.
Importing oil, and look what the prices did. I mean, it skyrocketed before there was even an embargo.
Lori says, good morning, G's. Trying to come to life. Rainy and windy here in Washington State. have to get my recumbent bike fixed. Right brake went out. Have to drive 2 hours to get it fixed. We got little G in the house. What? He said, did you win? We did, son.
We did.
We did. We got top 20. Dad got trucker of the year and polish and shine.
Got three trophies and $1,000.
Yep. First place on the polish and shine. And that trophy is as tall as I am, bub.
And don't ask for a loan, son, because I gave $1,000 to Sparrow's Promise.
Yep. Went back to helping battered
He wouldn't
women
have asked for a
and
loan
children. No. Pam says, I'm
No,
sorry.
he probably would have. Just joking. You what, baby?
Pam says, I'm sorry to say my witch's pig will be really late. C in the house. Brother really sick. I pray I don't get it. We'll keep your brother in our prayers, sweetheart, and you as well. Cindy P says, hello, G's. Hope you are having a great day. We are, sweetie. Kentucky Redneck says there is 1 million gallons of diesel in emergency stockpile, but they say once we reach the reserve, it'll take about 6 hours to empty it. Wyoming Girl says, think about it. No, they want people to panic, buy to help economy. They also want farmers / ranchers / truckers out of business, unless you have an electric vehicle.
Believe me, it's a sleight of hand. They always got you looking one way while they're doing something somewhere
in the
else.
Background. Mr. Bob says, I still have toilet paper stockpiled from the pandemic, and I use a lot. Sherry Beeman asks, how much farther to home? 187 miles. Wyoming Girl says, it's hard being a rancher, and my family also owns a trucking company. See, you've got a double whammy. Brad says, I drive transfer dump truck here in Brookings, Oregon, and I'm really worried about our future. We need to get back to what Trump had implemented, energy efficiency.
Truck drivers need to get together and put their foot down and say, we've had enough. I don't know what it's going to take for truck drivers to realize they've had enough. I mean, we're all really good about bitching and griping and moaning, but when are we going to stand up and actually freaking do something? That's what drives me crazy.
Jeff Martin says, no fuel, no toilet paper. Just saying. Leslie says, your friend whose trailer was outfitted like an RV, I said last night there was enough room in there to hold the entire G-Force family. Oh, James Hodges track. Nancy said, congratulations to you both. Diesel prices here in PA are $5.89. Joseph says, on my previous comment, locally we employ over 1,000 people.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You're welcome,
and how many other industries and jobs rely on you too?
Riley says, enjoyed the ride. Like driving night in rain. Blessings. Wyoming Girl says, too many bigger truck companies and those drivers aren't paying for the fuel or dealing with the politics.
Well, think about it. With mega carriers, they're big companies and they've got a lot of trucks, and we always think, well, that's who runs the show. No, money's what runs the show. We always think that, well, as many trucks as they got, they haul most of the freight, and that's just not true. Over 85% of our freight that's hauled in this country is from the small mom and pop companies, the owner-operators, the small independent drivers. 85% of that is hauled by those companies. The other 15% is your mega carriers. They just got more money. They can afford to cut rates and cut people's throats.
Char, don't be sorry, honey. You have a good day. Get your running done. Cheryl says, hi, G's. Congrats on winning last night. Do you think shutting down trucking will work when that seems to be what they want?
I'd say, I don't have the right answer for you. I don't know what the right answer is, but I say if they want to shut this country down, and they're going to do that by shutting down fuel on us. If they want to shut this country down, we just do it just as well as do it under our terms and not theirs.
Yeah, don't wait till they shut us down. Let's do it on our own. Deborah says, is the diesel shortage just in the U.S. or in Canada as well?
That I don't know. right now what they're doing is it's a wool is me. Oh, we're running out of diesel. We're running out of reserves. We're trying our best. So either way it goes, they're either heroes or we tried. You know, they either fix it and do what they should have been doing in the first place, which I'm afraid it's almost too late to fix it because we should have been pumping a long time ago and getting more self-reliant in this country instead of importing it and exporting it. Or the other route that's going to happen is, hey, we really tried to fix this. We told you that our reserves were running low. Sorry, the shelves are bare. We're going to do the best we can. And oh well, our refrigerators are stocked. We're still making money because you guys are still paying us. But if we shut this down on our own, well, now it's votes, and votes are what they're after. That's what they want. They want to stay in power. They want the votes.
Be reelected.
They want to be reelected so they can keep living off of our tip.
Wyoming Girl says, I agree, but bigger companies have the money to make the rules too by padding politicians.
That's exactly where the problem is, and that's kind of what I was getting at when I said the bigger companies have the money. They have the influence, and that's what hurts the little companies, mom and pops, the small companies, the independent drivers, farmers. You know, the small farms and stuff. You know exactly what I mean. That's what's hurting us is we don't have the ear or the influence that these lobbyists do.
We don't have a pocket.
We don't have we don't have those politicians in our pockets.
Wyoming Girl says, look at how they scrambled about the railroad strike. Also affects my family members. Riley says, does the people realize that there still could be a railroad strike? There is 2 unions. They are not agreeing on some points. Hey, Super Salty. Cheryl said, hey, Sherry. Good to see you. Good question, right? I think she is right. Wyoming Girl says, I mean wallet, not companies. Thanks, Miss G, for knowing what my brain meant. You're fine, sweetie. Berdine says, exactly, and they want to make sure their freight is delivered on time and safe. They are going to use a mom and pop company because of the crash ratio of the mega companies.
Yeah.
Mary says, I hear that there is a fuel shortage all over the world, except Arab nations. Jeff says, worldwide by governments managed because of boycotting Russia as one cause, no pipelines, and selling our reserves to foreign countries.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson says, I'm just joining. What do you know about the possible diesel shortage?
That's what we've been
Is that really going to happen?
It's looking like it, guys. It really is looking like it. I don't know how we're going to get out of it, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said months ago when Biden first came on, and I'm not saying Biden's the cause of it because they all go hand in hand. Biden is just that puppet that
he's a mouthpiece.
He's a mouthpiece. Is what he is. When he first went on TV telling us that we're gonna boycott or we're gonna have an embargo with foreign oil, Russian oil. They should have already had something in place and implemented to give incentives to our American drillers and opening these pipelines right then and there before he even opened his town.
He should have had a plan, and he should have voiced that plan instead of just putting a scare.
I didn't care if he voiced it. They should have had a plan and had it in place.
Sherry Beeman says, Angie, yes, you are correct. I think you need to be in the White House. Go tell them how to do it. You're more intelligent than they are. Hey,
I'm just a dumb old hillbilly. What do I know? You know what I mean?
Well, Wyoming Girl says, when the time comes, we just need some bull haulers to show up on the White House lawn and unload. Charlie Chandler says, great to see guidelines to begin with.
Well, I agree with you.
Wyoming girl says Buttigieg shouldn't even be Secretary of Transportation.
I don't know why they have anybody in there in transportation that don't know
Has
nothing about
not
transportation.
been in one of these trucks. Does not know what they're doing when they start writing out these laws, restrictions, whatever they're called.
I need another drink.
Joseph says fear tactics work for the sea. Now using fuel, most don't think rationally when scared.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, gee, you're way more intelligent. You're not a walking political zombie. Shorty Beeman says, well, Hillbilly G, you know a lot more than that. Okay.
I guarantee you one thing that you're going to get that you would get from me that we don't get from the politicians that we have in place is you wouldn't have to worry about me being in nobody's pocket, because I can care less about the money. As long as I got a roof over my family's head, my family's growing, and so it's just me and Mrs. G now. As long as I got a roof over her head with some food in her belly, we're good. And as long as I know how to hunt, there always would be food in her belly. I never worry about going hungry.
And speaking of that, knowing how to hunt, our oldest grandson Pete got himself a deer today, this morning.
Did he get a deer?
Opening of youth season.
Yeah.
He did. His big old cheese grin. He's pretty super excited about that.
There ain't much in life that I want. I think I get more joy out of watching others thrive.
Wyoming girl says, nailed it. He didn't understand how ports worked either.
No, they haven't a clue.
Lee says it's all about going green.
And you're exactly right. Bingo. Hit the nail on the head.
Darren says Trucker G for president. 100% of that you are saying is so right. Jeff Martin says Arab countries said they are cutting production too bad, straight from the source. Jordan says I liked all we can eat at Golden Corral, but the one we had closed years ago. Amy says congratulations on little man on his deer.
But
Yeah,
I'd like
he's
to see
super
them the
excited.
politicians up there in the White House. I'd like to see them start eating more like the rest of us people, like the rest of us do, eating on a budget. You know, they're eating steaks and shrimp and lobster and drinking these $500 bottles of cognac and whatever the hell else these rich people eat and drink. Why ain't they on a budget when they're working off our dime?
Super Salty said should have never shut our country down. Wyoming girl says hillbillies have to figure it out on their own. Politicians pay us hillbillies. Ray said, so if diesel is a byproduct of making gas, will there be a gas shortage too? Or are they just pushing
I
trucks
believe they're
slash
kind
railroad?
I think they're just pushing the diesel right now, guys. They're pushing the diesel because of the supply chain.
He said, I hate to say it, but if trucks shut down for 2 days, then people would wake up. Rhonda says, I've been hearing that there is going to be something major happening that will be worse than the pandemic within the next week. That way, they can cancel the elections on the 8th. Guess we will find out.
If we run out of diesel, you'll find out how much worse it's going to be. And I'm not trying to laugh. It's just, you either laugh or you cry.
Cindy Torres says, I've never hunted, but I work with all men. Most hunt. They will help me out if it comes to it. Helen says, watching from
It's the
New
people in the big
Zealand.
cities that I worry most about, you know.
Well, good afternoon, Helen from New Zealand. And yeah, it is the people in the big cities, because it's the people that live out in the country are equipped to hunt, and they know how to hunt, and they can feed their families. Can't hunt in the city. Can't feed your family in the city if there's nothing in the stores and on the shelves.
They're going to be running low on
to the country because they're going to do what they have to do to feed their family. Boy, Mom says, that's awesome. I will never forget my first year. Great job. Yeah, he's so super excited. It's his first year on this youth season. He got it first thing this morning. He got the job done. Wyoming Girl says, gee, if you ever get time, listen to the song Redneck in the White House.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Eric in the house?
What's going on, Eric?
Says, gee, I believe this fuel shortage is all by design. There is nothing accidental. This has all been planned out in advance.
It is.
You're right on the money there, Eric. Don Wheeler says, this country needs to be run by the everyday, ordinary people who hate politics, not the political lawyers out for all they can get. Need to go back to all of Congress is unpaid position, and you have to have a real job to do at home. Timothy M says, it's not about us, it's how they can get away with it.
As long as we don't do nothing, we'll get away with anything they want. But yeah, well, what do? We sit down back and we bitch and we talk about it, but we never stand up and we don't do nothing about it.
KR says trains run on diesel. Paulie said, what's up, G's? Hey, Paulie, how you doing?
You know, you got the railroad workers that are planning on a strike. Could you imagine if the railroad workers and the truck drivers got together? Maybe
both.
It's just a pipe dream.
But those are both intricate.
Heck, I'd just like to see the truck drivers get together, but hell, I don't know if you'll ever get that. At least with the railroad workers, they're union and they know how to come as one.
Mary said our farmers will be hurting. We will all be hurting. Sherry Beeman says, how old is your grandson that got his first year? He is 11. He will be 12 in June. And yeah,
I don't think that was his first one.
It's not his very first year. No, it's his first year this youth season. He got it this first thing this morning. I seen the pictures. His daddy Tony was sharing the pictures this morning, so I was pretty excited, and then we shared them too. Cindy says, LOL, us country people can last on beans and rice. LOL. I've got the means to hunt, and I could if I had to. Kama says, unfortunately, not all the truckers will stick together. That's the problem. That is a major problem. And the government knows that. They know we're divided. And as long as we continue to be divided, they continue to win.
Okay. Do me a favor and text me what we need. That way I can go pick it up.
Cheryl says, congrats to your grandson. Well, thank you. Yeah, Pete, like I said, I seen the pictures this morning, and Pete had a big grin on his face, and they already had the deer hung up, and were, skinning it out and everything. Sherry Beeman says, I didn't know you had an older grandson. Thought it was just the little guy. We have 3 grandsons. He is 11. We have Squishy that's 5, and Yoda that's 4.
That drywall didn't get messed up, did it?
Cheryl says, I don't understand why all the truckers can't come together. It's called division.
Nothing.
And it's rampant.
Banging into the side.
And that's the sad part. She always uses the analogy that, truckers can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
Truckers, they're just like anybody else.
It's supposed to be on this week.
And when we get rid of the division, could you imagine what it would be like? The government would be running for cover.
Ouch. It hurts.
Lynn Jansen says, just share. Thank you, Lynn.
Okay. I'll give you some cash.
Scott's got a question mark. What's up, Scott McClure? Jordan says, are you headed home? Enjoyed the weekend. Enjoyed the weekend with y'all. Yes, we're headed home, hon.
You still got to check on this place for me, ain't you?
Kathy says, problem is we let politicians get away with no accountability for years. Needs to stop and no more career politicians. Bingo. Sherry Beeman says, yes, very much division. Helen says, the price of diesel in New Zealand is almost the same as petrol. And then there's road user charges on top. It's ridiculous. Charlotte says, my grandson has an electric deciding to follow through on it now because of President Trump. They know he'll get rid of all of them. He is public enemy number one to them. Drain the swamp. City Torres says the government was never intended to be as big as it is. Most are corrupt. Yep, most of them are corrupt. I believe that, you know, all the politicians,
I think all these rich
left,
elites,
right,
I think
whatever,
all these rich elites are corrupt.
have their own hidden agenda that is padding their pockets.
Get rid of some of these tax loopholes that they got. I mean, don't get me wrong, it helps some of us, but does it help us all? I mean, when mega billion-dollar corporations are paying little to nothing on taxes, while the working man and woman has to pay their fair share, where's the fairness in that?
John Wheeler says,
Yeah, they pay a lot, but their lot is a very small percentage. Some of them aren't paying nothing.
Don Wheeler says, was at Walmart yesterday and people were buying everything they could to start putting food back. The place was packed. Me, I needed some popcorn, mushrooms, and a pizza. Living on a farm, we are good. Joseph says, we need...
Don't get a false sense of security of living on that farm. And I've been saying this for a long time. I can hear a lot of people say, you know, well, let's get into the whole militia thing of it. Oh, I've got all these rounds of ammo stocked up. I'm ready for an apocalypse. I'm ready for World War III or the next Civil War. I got all these rounds. I got 1,300 guns, and I'm ready. Bring them on. Where do you think all these people from the city are going to go? They're going to go out to your farm.
That's
Yeah, I don't care if you got 3 million rounds, but if you only got 6 people to shoot those 300 million rounds,
You're not going to get each and every one.
how long is that going to last you? When 1 million people from a city
Venture out into the
venture out
country because they're
into
hungry.
your farm because they want to feed their family too.
Joseph says, what we need is all the mama bears come out and play. They scare most of us guys. Mary says, God has a plan, just need to believe. Gloria says, don't forget those river barges that haul goods, use diesel, farm equipment like combines, tractors, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Sherry Beeman says, I don't see any rain on that windshield. Cheryl says,
Yeah,
government is way too big. There is a law, rule, or regulation for everything.
The best chance farmers have if something like that comes into play is to come together as a community.
Ray says, think about this. Diesel is about $1 a gallon until you add in all the city, county, state, fed, IFTA taxes, etc., etc.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. Sherry Ann Miller says, if people are no longer able to live comfortably, there will be an uprising, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Charlotte says,
How bad is it going to have to get before people stand up?
Charlotte says, when the electric part went out of the car, the gas part don't work. The electric and gas cars stink. Nan says, you have that right. Rich should have to pay their share. What about the working man and woman? I don't mind taxes, but it's gone way too far. We are in a big, huge mess. God help us all. Cindy says, your taxes are withheld are not legal. Look it up. It is by fear of intimidation. All tax go overseas to pay for politicians' corrupt deal. That's fact.
I don't know
Research.
what the legality is of it or not, but guess what we do? We pay taxes.
Rhonda says,
Whether it's legal or not legal, we do it. So if it's not legal, why ain't we standing up? And if it is legal and we're getting screwed, why ain't we standing up? That's the whole point. What's it going to take for us all to come together and say, you know what, we've had enough? What's it going to take?
Rhonda says, just hang in there.
If now's not the time, then when? Don't get irritated that I'm speaking up.
I just thought you were done, so I waited.
I never know when I'm done.
You paused, and then I start talking, and then you start talking again. So I feel like I'm trying to step over you.
Oh, thought you got mad at me because I spoke.
Rhonda says, just hang in there. Things are going to get bad, but it will get better. God wins.
Yeah, you're right, God wins, but also in the Bible it talks about the end of times. Is that the win that we're talking about? And if it is the end of times, I mean, I'm not ready for the end of times. I don't know about you. I know I hear so many people say that they're ready for their salvation, but I'm in no big hurry.
Okay, Guardian says, the less I have, the less to take from me. Also in a direct hit zone. Ready to go if God wills. Happy freedom. Jan says, people on medications, especially like insulin, heart medications, need to get extra in their prescriptions.
She said, I'm ready to go if God wills. I'm not ready to go. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not afraid to die. I mean, that's for damn sure. I'm not afraid to die. But I'm in no big hurry.
Mickey Gerard says, good afternoon, G's. The weather today makes me want to just curl up on the couch with a blanket and watch a good movie. I'm right there with you, sweetheart. Right there with you. Linda said, your amount of meds that can be prescribed, government has the rules for that too.
Well, they control almost every aspect of our lives. But yet we just sit there and watch it happen. We sit there and let it happen. We lose freedoms every day. Every day we lose a new freedom.
driving around the Beltway in D.C. Hate to bring that up. Hindsight is everything.
Go ahead and bring it up. All the fuel that we use for going around D.C., it's not a drop in the bucket compared to what we use. What we used to drive around D.C., let's see, how many trucks were there? I mean, at the height, there was probably about 200 trucks. 200 trucks is 200 loads. We'll just say, driving around D.C., that might have brought a load from California to New Mexico. So we brought 200 loads to New Mexico is what we used. That is absolutely nothing compared to what we need.
Carol
so,
says,
I mean, try another one. Good try, though.
Carol says, good morning, G. Right, Mr. G. I truly want to enjoy my God-given grants. I hunger for every special second. God's in charge.
And I'm going to go right back to that other comment. You know, all the fuel that we use driving around in D.C. What were you doing, and what are you going to do to fix things? If that wasn't the right thing to do, and I'm not going to say it was the right thing or not the right thing, but I want to know what you did and what you plan on doing. If you've got a better idea, please address it. Please bring it up. We got to do something. We can't sit around and just bitch all day long and sit there and point the fingers and say you did this wrong or you did that wrong. We got to do something, whether it be wrong or right. We got to stop sitting here and bitching, guys. That's my point. Because it's getting absolutely nothing done.
Linda says, yep, you're so right. Get out and vote. Maybe we can turn this country around, God willing. Kathleen says, this past week when I went grocery shopping...
What are we voting for? We're voting for people coming into office, right? Is that getting rid of the lobbyists that's coming in there? And is that stopping corruption? We got to stop these lobbyists from coming in there and corrupting these politicians. We got to get rid of these term limits for these corrupt politicians. We got to get rid of what's in there now. And what I'm afraid of is the ones that are coming in. how long is it going to take before they become corrupt? I'm sure a lot of them come into their careers of being politicians with under the right premise, but they got into the pocket of the Democrat Party. They got in the pocket of the Republican Party, and now the Republican Party, the party owns them. And who owns the parties? Well, the elites own the parties. Where do you think the money's coming from to begin with? It's a never-ending cycle, guys.
Kathleen says, this past week when I went grocery shopping, I stocked up on everything. It's going to be bad for the small communities as we rely on truckers to bring our goods and services. Diesel prices are killing America as a whole. My cousin is a pilot for FedEx, and he said even they are preparing for it. Debbie says, hello, G's and G family. Had to sit for a minute, started a roast, been cleaning a while, downsizing.
Yeah, I'll just go right back to what I said before, though. You know what I know? I'm just a dumb old hillbilly. I know nothing about economics. I know nothing about being a politician. I know nothing of that. All I've got is common sense, and the common sense that God gave me. And maybe that's not so common anymore.
We're doing good, Debbie. Stephen Meyer says, howdy, what'd I miss? Corrupt politicians, diesel shortages, electric cars, and people doing what they've got to do in order to feed their families when worse comes to worse. Debbie says, you got that right, Mr. G. Joseph says, where are the lobbyists for the American people?
There isn't. We ain't got one because we won't come together. We should be lobbying for ourselves. And I don't mean lobbying like you're how do I say it? Like you're used to. We need to stand up. Our money isn't in ourselves. We don't need money. We don't need actual cash. We need to invest in ourselves and stand up together and show them with the whites of our eyes. The whites of our eyes is our currency. That's the only currency that we have as the American people is the whites of our eyes. And that's worth a whole lot more than any dollar bill, believe me.
Stephen Meyer says, otherwise life. Pretty much, yes. Kate Guardian says, what you see, what you use compared to hauling, I get it. Now what can we do, G's? Any ideas?
Yeah, people got to come together. We got to stand up together. And I don't know what it's going to take to get people to actually stand up and do something. I don't know. I know me personally, I've had enough. I'm fed up. And I'm willing to jump on board with anybody that has a better idea than the People's Convoy did. More than happy to jump on board. You just holler at me, let me know what your idea is, and let's make this happen. Because I'm fed up.
Kentucky Redneck says, Trucker G just nailed it. Eric says, we need a leader. Maybe we can change our conversation from bitching to possible solutions. Gary's Place said, hey G's, corporations do not pay taxes. It is a part of their product costs. Raise their taxes, your product's price goes up. Hope Faith says, we agreed with Mr. G. Cheryl says, so how do we stop them? Everyone stay home from their jobs to stand up as one?
That's what it's going to take.
City Taurus says, big pharma, big tech owns us as well as other countries.
We talk about the truck drivers shutting this country down. Could you imagine if just a third of this country said, you know what, no more, and we just don't show up? You know, we've had it.
James Webb says, I don't know if you guys realize how negative you are. You guys are living the dream. You're working, you're getting paid, you're living a good life. Look at what you have and enjoy the ride. Freedom is not free. You got to pay your fair share in life. You guys have something for nothing attitude.
No, hold on. Let's rewind this, buddy. Apparently, this is the first time you've ever come on and listened to this. My whole point is I'm tired of the politicians living up there and living off the tit of us Americans. Did you not hear that they're talking about shutting down the fuel for all of us? We're fixing to run out of fuel. You tell me. Read that one more time.
He said, I don't know if you guys realize how negative you are. You guys are living the dream. You're working. You're getting paid. You're living a good life. Look at what you have and enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
Freedom.
we're working on. I'm going to address that.
Okay.
Yes, we're working. We're living the dream. you're right. We are working. But is that the dream? Is the dream just to work? Just to work in order to live? No, we all want our fair chance at the American dream, but they're taking that away. The owner-operators in this country are living the American dream by trying to start our businesses and our businesses to thrive. I'm not saying we're trying to get rich. We're trying to, just like you said, we're trying to work and we're trying to put food in our family. But yet they're implementing all these different changes for the owner-operators and for the truck drivers, just period, the truck drivers, in order to push us out of business for the mega carriers. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the government makes these laws for mega corporations, for the elites. Do you disagree with that? Or are you one of the elites? Are you just a paid troll that comes on here and tries to sway the conversation and get a rise out of me? I mean, where do you stand? I mean, let's address this one thing at a time.
He said, freedom is not free. You got to pay your fair share in life. You guys have a something for nothing attitude. You obviously are new to our page.
Something for nothing attitude. I worked my ass off, and I've worked my ass off for the last 35 years. Busted my ass. And I've watched this country go downhill for the last 35 years. Are you saying the country's getting better, or are you saying the country's getting worse? That's what I would like to know.
Stephen Meyer says it's going to take more of the truckers. It's going to take all of us to say enough is enough.
That's right.
KR says, Troll says this is living the dream. Debbie says, we the people have to remember who's important here, and that's us, the people. We always have to be ready to help each other. That's all we got. We know who we are, Americans.
And if I'm being negative, I mean, heck, how much more positivity do you want out of me?
Joseph says, all politicians should have to take a common sense test, no career politicians. If politicians had to bust their ass for a paycheck, maybe they would care more about the little guy.
Let me ask you, who was that made that comment again?
James Webb, he was on Facebook.
James, let me ask you this question, bud. Is it wrong for me just to want the politicians to do the job that they were elected for, to do what's best for we the people, for us, the people, and not just for the elites, not just for the rich, and not just for themselves? Is that wrong to me? Does that make me negative to want them to do their jobs that they were elected for?
Stephen Meyer says, way freight prices from brokers and cost of fuel, it is getting harder and harder to live the dream.
It's almost costing us owner-operators, costing us money to deliver your guys' products. I mean, during the pandemic, a lot of us were hauling goods to keep you fed at a cost to us. We weren't making money. We were paying money out of our pockets because we knew the shelves were bare. I didn't go home for 6 months because I made a promise that I'm not going home until the shelf, there was food back on them shelves, because I knew there was people out there that were going to starve.
Yeah.
I made a promise that we weren't going to go home because there wasn't medicine out there for people to live. I made a promise that I wasn't going to go home for 6 months, no matter if it cost me money or if I made money. That wasn't of any importance.
It's not a factor.
I promised that I wouldn't go home for 6 months because there wasn't formula on them shelves for babies to eat. You tell me how negative I am.
Stephen Meyer says politicians need a reminder of who they work for. Don Manny says, Mrs. G, remind Mr. G about his blood pressure. Cindy Torres says, I've worked since I was 13. No free ride, no handouts, no help from family. Hope Faye says, politicians should only have a 4-year term. That's it. It's totally disgusting how they're selling off our freedom. Myra said, united we stand, divided we fall. Thank you both. Kay Guardian says, yeah, G, work to get what people need, just like my brother who's hauling. Hope Faye says, you tell him, Mr. G. Mr. Bob says, is this political talk? Not complaining, but I need a happy thought right now.
try.
It's just kind of where the conversation goes, guys.
You ever notice that it seems like we go very political on a Sunday? The one day that we say we're not going to talk politics, and I always get sucked in on Sunday.
Kathy says yes. They may be working and living the dream as you stay, but if they shut down fuel, not only will they be out of a job, but you will be out of food, clothing, goods, etc.
Everything.
Brian says hi from Oklahoma. Well, hello, sweetheart.
How you doing?
John says a fuel shortage or no fuel is going to.
We kind of go hand in hand with Canada, guys. No matter how much we think we're separate, we go hand in hand.
Stephen Meyer says, people, you need to look out for the truckers because the truckers are looking out for you. Debbie says, Mr. and Mrs. G, y'all are great people. Don't let idiots get to you. We know who you are and know your heart as we do. We love you both. We love you guys too. Brian says, we appreciate you guys all the time because we lost a family member in a rig accident a couple years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Cheryl says, teach it and preach it, G. You are right. How do we get the word out for a country shut down?
That's going to be a hard one, guys. I mean, even Facebook, all these different
they
platforms,
won't let it out.
They're shutting it down to where it can't get out. And the only way it is going to get out is by word of mouth.
And we've seen that during the convoy. We've seen word of mouth. People are talking to their neighbors and talking to someone in the grocery store in the line, getting ready to pay for their groceries. In the doctor's office.
We'll have to go right back to the old days, back to the way things used to be.
City Taurus says, my daughter and I worked through the entire pandemic. My daughter worked 3 jobs. This guy talking smack needs to go back to sleep. We didn't get to see our kids and our grandkids because we were out here on the road.
6 months.
And we did it because,
spent 5 months in the convoy.
But we did it because the shelves were bare. We knew people needed to eat and that it was going to get hard, 1 less truck on the road, 2 less trucks on the road because they want to take home time and they want to go home and decompress and see their families. But at that point, we needed to be out here on the road so that there was 1 more truck on the road, not 1 less.
Yeah, it just kind of, I usually don't try to let anything strike a nerve with me. Just really struck a nerve with me when he said, I'm just looking for a handout. We just sold everything we frickin' own, trying to do what we felt was right.
But that's what he wanted because I've never seen that name on the page before, and he popped in just to say something ugly and to make your blood pressure go up and to get to you.
Bless his heart.
Kathy Fowler says politicians should have the same health insurance as every American. They should be on the same playing field
They should pay for their
as
damn
every
health
American.
insurance.
They would not be so quick to make bad decisions.
They should have to pay for it too. All the rest of us do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Americans out here that don't have health insurance because they can't afford it. Ray says, what makes me mad is politicians that get voted in, swear to uphold the Constitution, but most have never read it and want to destroy it.
Amen.
Gary's Place says, pull up, where'd it go? I lost it. Pull up mama's tit. That's what God made them for. Cheryl said, so should we pick a date and start spreading the word?
Gotta have a plan first. I mean, a date don't do no good without a plan.
Kathy says, it will take all of us together. Wake up the sleepers.
I guarantee you I'm not going to do it with just a couple thousand people. Or a few thousand people. It's going to take tens of thousands of people.
City Taurus says, subject change, no mass politics. Okay, on my other note, what's the plan for Thanksgiving trucker meals? Turkey, gravy, taters, baked beans, rolls.
The plan is for me to get in the
stuffing.
kitchen and put in one hell of a day's work. And like I always do, I don't really make a plan. I just make it happen.
Mr. Bob says, do you have a favorite music theme when driving?
I listen to a lot of The Engine. Exactly what we're listening to right now.
Boy Mom says, yep, my husband worked through the pandemic, only home 2 or 3 days every 6 to 8 weeks. And he only came home then if his 72 72-hour reset was close to home. He is only home now due to recovering from cancer. Oh, sweetheart, we'll keep you guys in our prayers.
Yes. Tell them thank you for sacrificing that for us. Because I was out on the road too, but what people don't realize, and a lot of truck drivers sometimes fail to realize, is these other drivers, I'm thankful for them because they're out there delivering for the food for my children, for my grandchildren.
KR says their medical insurance is top of the line and they barely have any copays. K Guardian says, thank you, Jeez. I appreciate you. Jeannie says, bring back the printing press so we have communication with each other. Darlene Chandler says, amen, amen, Mr. G. Jean says, agree with you both, Mr. and Mrs. G. Kevin says, prayers for all the trolls and bots. Debbie says, some people still don't get it. Seriously, some family I tried to make understand and still ain't having it.
I kind of have a feeling it probably wasn't a troll. I kind of have a feeling it was somebody that just barely come onto the page and don't know who we are or what we're about. But yet they want to make a wide statement as they did without even knowing who we were. They just started assuming they knew who we were and what we were about.
By
and
jumping in at this portion
didn't even
of the
listen into the conversation.
No, I get that. I get that there was someone that I hadn't seen on the page before, and there's a good possibility they're new to the page. Jan says they were talking about the fuel shortage and what it's going to do to the truckers and the public last night on the news.
Yeah. Anytime the news talks about something, it just tells me that they're pushing their agenda for something bigger and greater that's coming along. Anytime it makes the news, it's something they want you to hear. And anytime they want me to hear something, it leaves me very skeptical.
Carol says, look at the beautiful colors. Such a beautiful Sunday ride. Thanks, G's, for all you do. My dad trucked for years. Mrs. G, where are we? Beautiful colors. We're in Leslie, Arkansas. Sydney Stratman asked, how's G's sister doing? We talked to her
yesterday for about, a minute and a half.
You could hear they took out her thyroid.
I told her, get off the phone. I don't want you talking. I just want to make sure you're doing okay. That guy's crossing the line.
Joseph says, I guess Sundays are the day to vent. Get it all out there. I know how much both of you sacrifice for the American people. Thank you and job well done. We appreciate it.
You guys. It's not intentional for some reason. It just happens on Sunday.
I think it's, yeah. Cindy said, do you all get others or family to help cook turkeys? Y'all probably make quite a bit.
No, usually me and Mrs. G and the kids will come over and give us a hand.
They'll pop in at different times.
They'll come over the night before and help us do prep.
Yeah. And usually the first part of Thanksgiving, they go to their in-laws' houses. So if they don't make it over to the house, they definitely make it out to the rest area to help hand out meals to the truckers. The grand boys do too. I know last year Pete was out there and he was making sure he was talking to the truckers and telling them, come get you some Thanksgiving supper. And the two littles, they do what they can, but they basically just.
I always think it's funny when some of the drivers think we're out there selling. I'm not out there. Come get you. It's free. Come on.
Debbie says they said there will be a turkey shortage, so I'm making breaded pork.
Nothing in Thanksgiving says you got to have turkey.
No, doing Bohemian Thanksgiving, going cheap this year.
If we can't get turkey, then I guess we'll have chicken or pork or. Believe me, there'll be something. Even if it's deer, we'll have some. There'll be food on the table. If I can't find a turkey, there's going to be some kind of food on the table. There always is, always will be.
Hope Face says, Mr. G, thank you for sacrificing for the 6 months. We support you 100%. That person has no common sense, and today, that's what you need. I think G's right, though.
I'm not the only driver that did that. There was a lot of other drivers.
A lot of drivers that did that.
During that time when it first started happening and shelves were getting bared, there was talk from some drivers. Yes. I'm not going to say it was quite a few drivers, but not the majority. Quite a few drivers were talking, and they were right. Don't get me wrong, they were right. as far as it's the prime time if we want to have an impact and shut these trucks down. But well, they erased a whole year's worth of our content. If you were able to see the year's worth of content that they erased, you would have seen it. I was on there telling these drivers, no, right now it's not the time. Even though we can make a big impact and make a big statement by shutting down, right now it's not the time because we don't want to hurt the American public. That's not what this is about. It's about getting the shelves filled back up, getting food back in the belly of these babies, making sure that their formula's on the shelves, making sure that there's food on the shelves. It seemed like more people were worried about toilet paper, but I was worried about the food, that formula, the medications, and so many drivers came together, and we lived in less than perfect, and that's a nice way to put it, conditions. We had no facilities. Truck stops were shutting showers down. We had no showers.
They shut the restaurants
They wouldn't let us
down.
use the restroom in a lot of places.
Yeah, you go to a shipper or receiver, there's a porta potty outside.
Some of these truck stops were shutting their restrooms down.
Yep, they shut, like you said, they shut showers down. Restaurants shut down that were in the truck stops. A lot of people, the American public rallied for the truck driver.
There's a lot of drivers living off of top ramen.
They came out,
What was in their truck?
They prepared meals, and they would go to strategic places that they knew that would get a lot of trucker traffic, and it was rest areas or different places they knew that truckers would be passing by, and they were handing out meals to feed the truckers because they knew what we were going through. They were looking for hand sanitizer for us, the stuff to make hand sanitizer, because we could not find it. Because by the time we would get to a place that we could park our big rig, truck and trailer, and go inside to look for it, it was gone.
While people were reporting, we were busting, and I don't mean just me and Miss Jimmy.
No,
when I say we, I mean
the truckers.
us as the trucking industry. We were clamoring to get these shelves, and drivers were driving. I hate to say use the word tirelessly. Let's put it that way. They were driving tirelessly to get this food on the shelves, to get these loads delivered. The only thing that slowed us down was trying to get the loads unloaded.
Dave Newland says, I dealt with that stuff locally as a truck driver.
Yeah, and it was bad for
everywhere.
And that's why I said as a trucking industry. I didn't just say OTR truckers. It was the whole industry. We had to work together as one.
There came a point that we actually were able, because we were looking for hand sanitizer. We stopped at a Walmart, and we were able to pick up a couple cases of it.
Well, that's not what I'm getting at. He was talking about.
Okay.
He was talking about locally. Just as fast as we were getting the deliveries into these warehouses, them local drivers were getting that stuff out of these warehouses and getting it on the shelf. I don't deliver to the stores. I deliver to the warehouses, and that's what a lot of us drivers do. Us OTR drivers do. We pick it up from the farms and the warehouses, from the farms, take it to the distribution warehouses, grocery warehouses, and then our local drivers make sure that stuff's on the shelves. Sorry, baby, I didn't mean to step on you. I'm just kind of reiterating what he was saying.
Debbie says they keep talking about rolling blackouts, so I bought a portable indoor generator with solar panel for my house, at least for fridge and phones. Joseph says that's why you deserve Trucker of the Year. You understand the trucking family. It doesn't matter if it's mental health, holidays, away from families, happy new drivers. I could go on and on.
No, I appreciate you, brother.
Chuck says you may be having roadkill for Thanksgiving.
I tell you what, if you're hungry enough, I can make it taste good.
Lisa says I have to watch replay. Only caught the tail end.
Put some G seasoning on it, and I can make anything taste good.
Hey, Guardian says 25 days left before diesel fuel runs out. That's the news I'm getting. Is this true from your perspective? Really
That's what
concerned.
we've been talking about.
Gary's Place says you're just one state east of us. good for the soul.
You know, when we started this convoy, and a lot of you were new to the page, I told you that if you ever want to know what's going on with this economy, just ask a truck driver or watch the truck drivers, and they'll always tell you what's going on with this economy. Truckers are usually the first to feel it, and as soon as I'm about to be able to get fuel at one of these stations, which right now it's going on in the northeast or southeast, I believe it said. Southeast, some of these stations are having trouble getting the diesel fuel, and usually it happens on a coast, and then it moves inwards. But I told you that if you want to know what's going on with the economy, watch your truck driver.
Lisa says, hey, geez, are you concerned about the diesel shortage coming up? This would be devastating for the country.
Well, I'm concerned.
Joseph,
I'm concerned because I feel that they're pushing an agenda, guys, and that's exactly what it is. They're pushing an agenda, and they've been pushing it for a while.
Joseph says, you need to market aprons with the spices.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, like I said, when Biden came on months ago and said we were going to have an embargo with Russia, but he didn't have no plan to open no pipeline, that was the first announcement of the agenda. I'm not saying that's when the agenda started. I'm sure the agenda's been started long ago, and I'm starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's just the truth. Why would you go on as the leader of our country and come on there and tell us that we're looking at hard times without having some kind of plan? And overnight, fuel prices skyrocketed for no reason, absolutely no reason. But the only reason why they did is because he opened his mouth.
Ralph says, happy Hallows Eve, all. Lee says, the G's are good people. Chuck said, Mr. G, you should start a cooking show, Cooking with the G's. Kathleen says, one thing the convoy in Canada and U.S. did was open my eyes and heart. It also introduced me to you all. I know when I'm down, you are all here for conversation, laughs, prayers, love. Here, love. We all need to love again. That rolled on me. Seems to me people are in their seed bubbles still. Thank you, Kathleen, for the stars, sweetheart. Star salute.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Ray says, truck drivers and farmers know the truth. These fuel prices are just the start.
Oh, yeah.
Aline says, gee, you are spot on. Jeannie says, most trains run on diesel as well.
Yep.
Okay, Guardian says, I can't eat drugs or diversity. Neither can babies drink it. What is the agenda? Mine is to take our country back in November. People are waking up, praying it is enough.
Who's taking the country back? Are we taking the country back, or are politicians taking the country back? Which is it? Because I've seen them on both sides of the party do nothing but screw us for decades. I don't care if it's red or I don't care if it's blue. I've seen the politicians and the rich screw us for decades, and I'm tired of it. I mean, like I said, usually when I open my mouth, I'm probably going to piss some people off. But I don't care at this point. At this point, I just want to see this country change back to what it was supposed to be to begin with. And it's not changed for not the kind of change we're getting now, change in our pocket. You know, I want to see these politicians start doing their damn job and doing what we elected them to do and work for us, and not for these elites, not for these corporations, not for their own pockets, but for the good of this country. And I've seen just the opposite on both sides of the party. Both parties, excuse me. I'll just put it this way, there is one that's lesser of two evils. But should we have to choose between lesser of two evils? No. I'm tired of voting blue. I'm tired of voting red. I'm tired of the separation. When we get a vote for just Americans, they just want the best for everybody, the best for this country. Hell, maybe I live in a fairy tale land.
Jeannie says, true that, Gene. Cindy Buck says, Brandon is a nitwit. A couple days ago, he said he had been to all 54 states. and we don't have an economic issue. Joseph says, Mrs. G.
You mean there ain't 54 states?
Didn't read my very first comment about at least 50 trucks of pipe for oil and gas going out. That doesn't even include all the train cars. We work 24/7. Mill doesn't close. I'm working Thanksgiving and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Larry says, I keep full tank of gas. When it hits 3/4, I go put a quarter in. Do not go places unless necessary. Grocery store, doctor visit. Try to be as frugal as possible. Berdine says, this is all about power and control. The politicians want to control everything, and they need to be brought down.
Amen.
Aline says, G for president.
If you don't think these Democrats and Republicans ain't golfing together and drinking this high dollar whiskey and whatever the hell them politicians drink, them rich folk drink, and laughing at us, you got another thing coming.
Charlene says, yeah, well, I guess I live in the fairy world also. Kay Guardian says, tell me what to do, Mr. G, please.
Oh, I can't tell you what to do.
Should we vote for null and void? They lose to no one.
No, you know what to do right now. Right now, we ain't got much of a choice, and I'm not going to be the one to say it because I'm not going to persuade anybody to do anything and to vote one way or another. And I never will tell you where to vote. But you know what the right answer is right now. But it's got to change.
John says, I get it, Mr. G. Most politicians are member of what is called the
Good Old Boys Club.
Uniparty, but we fight with them with the army we have.
Yeah, I got you.
They forgot they work for us. Hope Faye says, G for president. Kathy Fowler says, get involved in your school boards, learn about your community candidates, vote the deadbeats out who are not for the people. It's not about a party.
Amen.
Joseph says, so why are they ordering all the pipe if they aren't going to drill? You won't hear that on the news. It goes against the green.
Why they ordering? Who's ordering all the pipe?
Let me go back to Joseph's comment. The first one he did, the one that I caught.
About the 50 trucks that you were talking about?
Joseph said, Mrs. G didn't read my very first comment about at least 50 trucks of pipe for oil and gas going out. That doesn't even include all the train cars. We work 24/7. Mill doesn't close. I'm working Thanksgiving and Christmas Day.
No, I get you.
Chuck says, why has DC been empty?
Haven't been there, so I don't know.
Kay Guardian says, please forgive me. Been watching
You mean
this
they actually work?
adamant speak, so I have Cool Whip for brains now. Alaskan says it's got to change. No true word spoken. I'm sure it will, just not sure how. Edie says, will you be able to get your spices out? I would like to get some for Christmas presents for my kids.
We're working on it, sweetheart. Matter of fact, when we got home today, that's when I need to get the rest of my recipe in order.
Carol says it was so important to vet and support the good local entities, fire department, police, school boards, and vet them all. Carol says, or Gloria says, Carol, I have 100 gallons propane tank, cold to 80, that I use if I lose power in my gas logs that are a heater. Had it filled last month.
The great thing about where we live is we don't have to vet nobody. And the reason why we don't, because we know everybody.
Lisa Taylor says, thank you for all you do. Praying for you both and our country.
But I agree with you on vetting.
Thank you, Lisa, for the super chat. Super chat clap.
Thank you, sweetheart. Miss G's getting irritated with me because I keep going on a rant.
Mr. Bob says, are clean trucks better than dirty trucks?
Yeah, it keeps the DOT makes it where they're not looking at you as hard.
Sherry says, I'm voting red November 8th because I want the border closed. I want the economy back where it was when we had President Trump. I want the pipelines open back up and the U.S. to beg overseas for oil that we have here. I want criminals put in jail and keep there for the whole sentence. And that's just the beginning. I vote red.
Well, like I said, you know what you got to do right now. But what I want, and I'm talking about after this election, I'm not wanting what we had. I'm wanting what could be.
Better.
I'm wanting what should be.
Mr.
Because
Bob,
we all deserve better.
We're 129 miles out, sweetheart. I got what you meant, Sherry Ann. Mr. Bob says, now that you've got 20K changed for you?
Nothing.
We got a bigger family.
We've had over 60,000 on Facebook for a few years now, and it hasn't changed this one bit. I'm not here for the amount of followers. It's not what I
for
started the page
notoriety
for,
or fame or anything like that. It's to help others.
What you see is what you get.
John says, and the children's convoy was awesome. Watched it this morning. Prayers up for the truckers and the railroad workers. Thank you. Sherry Beeman says, how much longer to home? Are you going back on the road tomorrow? We are 125 miles out, and no, tomorrow we are going to go trick-or-treating with our kiddos and our grandkiddos.
We was going to leave tomorrow out on the road, and I told Mrs. G, I said, you know what, I'm never home for Halloween. I haven't been home for Halloween for I don't know how many years, even with our children. And I said, I'd really love to see the grand boys go trick-or-treating. What's another day?
Anne Marie says, hello, G. Sending love and hugs from British Columbia, Canada. Much love to our Canadian brothers and sisters.
Do we need to get back to work? Can we use the money? Of course we could. Of course we do. But some things in life are a little more important than others.
K Guardian says, wish I was smarter than I am. Pushed aside by everyone because of what I believe in, which is to stand up for our country. Trump is the only president I have heard say, this is your country. Hope Faith says, we deserve better. We agree with the G's.
I don't need a president to tell me whose country it is. I know whose country it is.
Mr. Bob says, is Festivus still a holiday for the rest of us? Isn't that Seinfeld? Marty says, can we get a good pic of the trophies when you get home?
I think it's kind of funny.
We'll
Somebody
make
was
it
saying
happen,
not celebrating a pagan holiday, right?
Yeah.
Do you realize Christmas is a pagan holiday? Well, it was a pagan holiday until Christianity took it back.
Kathy says, Mr. G, how are you guys doing?
It's really not the birth date of Jesus.
Doing about diesel fuel. Is it really getting short?
That's what they're saying. I didn't have no trouble getting fuel today. I'll tell you that.
Berdine says, best thing, Mike Foley getting stuck in the sofa bed, LOL. I seen that comment roll through. I was trying not to talk during the music performance because I didn't want to be rude. That way you guys could hear it all. But I was kind of glancing through the comments, and I see Mike Foley said he got stuck inside of a sofa bed one time.
I think I said something that was sacrilegious.
Kathy says, you both have been a ray of hope and truth from the beginning. Thank you for being real. You're welcome, hon. It's the only way to be. Thrill says, amazing journey. Nancy says, good afternoon, my beautiful G's. Well, good afternoon, hon.
I'm surprised I didn't get no backlash for saying Christmas isn't the baby Jesus' birthday.
Ray says, I love you. Love all you G's. Do for different charities and what you stand for. I wish I could donate more to you all, but money is tight right now.
No, I totally
But
get
love
it.
following you. Glad to catch a live on occasion. Don't worry about that, sweetheart. Excuse me. Mike Foley is watching. Carol says, yes, many holidays are considered pagan or roots and selves. Jesus is the reason.
Actually, I read a study years back. They believe that Jesus was born I believe it was June or July. And that was just because of the position of the Northern Star at the time, according to the Bible. But we celebrate it in December because they wanted to step on a pagan holiday.
Mr. Bob says, do you have any suspicion or superstitions about driving your truck?
I do have superstitions, but as far as driving the truck, I don't think I do I?
I don't think so.
Got a lot of OCD.
Sherry Beeman says, that's great. You're going to be with your grandkids. Are you going to dress up too? I kind of want to.
I am. I'm going to be a truck driver this year. I'm a truck driver every year.
I'm hoping that maybe we'll stop by Walmart and I can check to see if they have any of those onesies.
Oh, Lord.
Mr. Bob says, I feel like I'm inside your truck. Is that odd? No. Myra says, I'm good with that. Time with children is important. We are with you. Whoops, I rolled. Dr. Pepper Jr. says, so I have a question for you. I was at work and saw you got a trophy when you were live, but didn't hear what they
that we donated back to Sparrows and Promises for battered women and needy children. We got a trophy for Trucker of the Year and another $500 from dpfregeneration.com, and we donated that back to Sparrows for Sparrows Promise. And then we got a trophy for Top 20.
Lisa said, I've heard it is March, not December. Stephen Means
And maybe it was March. I can't remember. I was thinking June or July for some reason, but I remember reading the articles or the study that was saying that they went by the position of the star, northern star.
Stephen Mead says, good afternoon, G's. Mountain Home is not far away from you guys. LOL. Food is still open. Invitation. Be safe. Thank you, Stephen.
I tell you what, Stephen, if I wasn't still full for breakfast, I might have took you up on that offer. But yeah, Mountain Home's not very far from us, and we could probably do it another time. I mean, heck, right now we're only 120 miles away from home.
John says, agreed. The Bible doesn't mention the exact date. Cheryl says, you're right, G. The only true holidays are in the Bible, the ones God said to celebrate.
But I mean, as far as Halloween goes, do you think our little kids, my little grandbabies, are celebrating a pagan holiday? No, they're going out to get candy. And it's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch them dress up, and it's fun to watch them have a good time.
Mr. Bob says, are your followers called Jeters? No.
G-Force.
The G-Force. Marty says, how about the G's as hobbits?
Yeah, it ain't.
Italian princess.
Trucker G will be, and I just spoke about myself in the third person. I hate that. I will be a truck driver for Halloween.
Italian princess.
Not a good.
When we roll with the G's, we're all in the truck.
Heck, I ought to make Mrs. G take the truck. Well, I guess our kids will have the grandbabies on. We ought to take the bike, and we'll be bikers for Halloween.
Marlene says, y'all are so kind to donate the money back to a good cause. Love from North Idaho. Try that salsa when you get home.
We will. And to be honest with you, like I said, it's kind of selfishness because I enjoy doing it. We enjoy giving. And it's kind of it's a little bit of a selfishness because I feel it's a little selfish because the joy we get out of it. I got a whole lot more out of that $1,000 than them kids and the battered women are going to get. Did I explain that right?
It just brought joy to your heart to
Yes.
help other people in need.
I guess when I get joy out of helping others like that, it makes me feel a little selfish.
Dr. Pepper Drinker says, sounds like you did great this year.
Maybe it's because of that old saying, you don't give till it hurts. Well, I've never gave until it hurt it. It's never hurt. So I've always got joy out of it.
Mr. Bob says, do they make Diet Dr. Thunder? I think they do.
I don't know. I think they do.
Jillian says, hot lemonade time. I've never had hot lemonade. Lori says, I think it's Mountain Home that we used to go any chance could to walk around and listen to great music all over town.
Oh, right on.
Ray says the kids dress up as their heroes / princesses. I relate to a cookie monster, LOL. Jillian says, looks like we might get a bit of snow this week. Ooh, she said the bad 4-letter word.
Don't be speaking that 4-letter words right here.
Bradley says, what's up, buddy? I'm new to your channel, and I'm a retired Freightliner of 34 years. Orlando, Florida. I retired last Friday. Well, congratulations on your retirement, and welcome to the G-Force.
I'm sure I'll say something to piss you off. Don't hold it against me, buddy.
Mr. Bob says, how about caffeine-free, Dr. Thunder? No, I don't think they have caffeine-free, sweetie.
You want to take everything good away from me, ain't you, Bob?
Jillian
Trying
says,
to give me no caffeine, no sugar. Heck.
31 degrees Wednesday night. That's getting chilly, chilly, chilly. and is feeding it. Dress up in bibs and cowboy hat. Mrs. G go as Minnie Pearl. Mary P says, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. G. Good morning, sweetheart.
I usually just wear whatever Mrs. G sets out for me that morning.
Berdine says, I dress up as Preparation H because I'm a pain in your poop chute. LOL. Mike Foley says, no caffeine, OMG. Kathleen says, the S word is a very bad word to a trucker.
Yes, it is.
Jillian says, we call it nibbly.
Yeah, I hate when it gets a little nibbly in here.
Dr. Pepper Drinker said,
Yeah, sometimes I like it.
snow is a four-letter word. I'm allergic to snow. Jen says, hey family, love that drive. It's beautiful. Aline, thank you for the stars, hon. Star salute.
Thanks.
Sonia Reed says, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Darlene Chandler says, gotta have my caffeine.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so that's the closest thing I'm getting. I'm that truck driver, that one truck driver in the country that don't drink coffee, I reckon.
Jillian says, Washington State. Goymon says, I lit my fire pit last night. First of the season.
Is that like code word? I lit my fire pit.
Mr. Bob says, what's the strangest thing you saw while driving?
Well, it just kind of depends on what you consider strange.
Mary H says, my older brother and his wife live in Park Ridge, Arkansas. Beautiful country.
I will say that probably there ain't much that's going to surprise me nowadays.
Jillian says, hi neighbor. Target 1968 Alaskan. Bradley says, I had spell check on. I meant to say Freightliner.
No, I understood what you meant.
Jillian says, hey now, G. Dr. Pepper Drinker said, G, dress up as whatever music fan you like.
I'm just going to go as myself.
Debbie says, I don't drink coffee, just decaf tea. Brenda Johnson says, they won't let us dress up at work. Oh, that's sad. I always looked forward to it when I was working. Luella says, good afternoon, G family. Nice to give back to the charitable organizations, especially when it has to be for the children. John says, have a cheap Halloween costume with my black observing hoodie and a grapefruit. I can go as John Fetterman.
I think all these women are dressed up as strippers this year. So I got something to look at.
Dr. Pepper Drinker said, G, dress up as a minion. Marianne says, good afternoon from Michigan. Good afternoon, hon.
Everybody's going to tell me what to dress up as. I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. Honey,
Mr. Bob said, have you seen
flying?
flying saucers?
No, I ain't never seen no flying saucer.
Bradley says,
Seen a lot of aliens.
firefighter. Damn the spell check.
Oh, firefighter. I
You're
guess I didn't
having a
know.
time.
I thought he was talking about freight hauler is what I thought he was trying to say.
Yeah. Jillian says, coffee or
appreciate
tea?
you.
It is all good. Jillian says, hot apple or hot cider or lemonade too.
You just ignored me, didn't you?
Yep. Kathleen says, I'm dressing up as a witch to give out treats. Oh, that would be cute.
You dress it up as a... I ain't gonna say it. Miss G has a room every day.
Jan says, I love pop, but I am allergic to caffeine. The dark colored drinks have caffeine. The clear ones don't, except Mountain Dew. Oh.
I was talking to you.
Yeah, I was ignoring you. Kathleen says, I read that. Debbie says, raining hard here in Tennessee. Mike Foley says, strippers, I have a bag of candy. Cindy Buck says, with this body, you definitely don't want to see me as a stripper. Cheryl says, oh no, you don't want to see this old gal dressed as a stripper. Gary's Place says, if you take all the good stuff out of Dr. Pepper, guess what it is? Not Dr. Pepper.
It's water.
Goblin says, living at an RV park in RV is going to take time. We still are trying to figure out how to organize our RV. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, I know, dress up as a thunder can. Bradley says, my 80-year-old mom used to use my computer and had spell check on. Don says, I'm dressing up as a witch. Or I dressed up as a witch one year and I lived right on the truck route. Boy, did the truckers drive slow. Bonnie and Clyde ambush site?
No, never been to the ambush site. We've seen the car, but never been to the ambush site.
Mr. Bob says, would you consider being on a TV series documentary about trucking and advice?
Something like that, yeah, I would probably consider it. We were actually asked to be on one of the trucking shows about truckers, and we did a casting call, and we didn't get it. I think the reason why we didn't get it, because the guy that we did the interview with really liked us. I mean, I had him laughing the whole time, but I think what really sealed the deal for us was I told him I'm not into drama, and if it's drama that is what you're looking for, you got the wrong people. And so we never did hear back from him, did we?
No. We did not. Lou Ellis says, congratulations on being Trucker of the Year. Again. Goblin says, I will go as a muggle and go geocaching. Bradley says, I wear my costume 365 days a year. I don't need one. I'm scary without one. And he's laughing. Carol says, I like the trunk or treats at churches. We always serve hot dogs, chips, and coffee. Safe and fun. One farmer friend brings his trailer with hay bales, gives rides to in-town kids.
Our tradition was always to take our kids when we took them trick-or-treating. You know, I say we, Mrs. G took them trick-or-treating to the nursing home. We would donate candy to the nursing home, but we always made sure our kids went there to get candy from the elderly because they enjoyed it so much.
Wayne says, I'm dressing up as an American, not red or blue, just American.
Can you just speak?
What? Rudine says their car was in Prim, Nevada for several years at the casino. That's where we seen it.
Yeah, that's where we seen it.
And
I think it's still there.
I think I still have the pictures on my phone. That thing looked like Swiss cheese and then some.
It was pretty tore up, wasn't it?
Yeah, plus they had like written articles on the wall and everything, and it's kind of morbid, but they actually had pictures of their bodies after, laying out.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Luella says, good afternoon from Iowa. Nice to give back to charitable organizations, especially for the children.
Yes.
Joseph says, Mrs. G, half of those trophies are for you. You have G so much. Best team ever. Thank you, sweetheart. Tracy said, good afternoon, G's. Safe travels home. I was watching last night when they were giving trophies out. Saw on your live feed my nephew, Missouri, fat boy getting one. Oh!
Do what?
She saw her nephew getting one of the trophies.
Oh, cool.
That's cool. Debbie says they did trunk or treat by my sisters in Indiana, but they did bring canned foods for candy. Thought that was cool.
I guess what a lot of people don't realize when you say truck or treat, it's the bulk of us. Mrs. G does just as much, if not more, on the page than I do it nowadays. She handles most everything while I'm driving. When I first started the page, I handled most of it all by myself, and it was really hard to do. But yeah, when you say truck or treat, it is the bulk of us. Everything we do together. Am I correct?
Yes, no, you're correct. Cheryl says the best costumes I ever saw was Data and the dog from Star Trek. My friend made the costumes by hand. They were really cool. That's pretty neat. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, I have to work on Monday, so I guess I'm going as a McDonald's worker. Oops. Mr. Bob said, would you be a contestant on Survivor?
No.
City Buck says, my ex-mother-in-law saw the car right after it happened and said the blood was still pretty fresh.
No, I'd be voted off the island pretty damn quick.
Stacy says, hi, G's. You guys are great. Stay strong and hi, G-Force family. Man.
Would I not, honey?
Yeah, you probably would be.
Yeah. mean, back in the day, you know, it was very seldom did you see a woman drive a truck. I mean, they were out there, but you didn't see a whole lot of it. Nowadays, it's common.
And you know what? We see a lot of female truckers that are veterans that, you know, drove back in the day where things were, you know, pretty horrific for them.
It's like I was talking about with Idella. She's been doing this, what, 54 years?
Yeah.
I guess we should have sat down and did an interview with Idella, but that's not what we were there for this week. We were there just for the camaraderie and just being there as a family. So I forget to do a lot of that stuff.
Ray says, I love it when Mrs. G polishes her wheels, LOL. Well, actually, Idella helped polish the wheels.
Yeah, she did. Oh, we did post that picture of Idella.
No, we didn't. She's a sweetie.
She said, gee, I bet you didn't think I was going to come here and polish your knobs, did you? I said, no, Idella, I didn't. But I like it.
Mr. Bob says, I always confirm with my wife that I'm right.
You can tell Idella's been, she's an old-time trucker because she just rolls right along with it.
She does.
Right along with me. Nothing I say surprised her or shocked her. She just rolled right along with me. As much as I tried to shock her, I couldn't do it. And I loved it.
Jess says, nap time later. Mike says, just be me. Berdine says, I bet we have met there, but can't remember yesterday. So we always had Gunter on our bird banger on both the black KW
Berdine's
W9 and the red KW W9.
She's done it for a long time herself.
Yep, yeah. And I bet you, I know Berdine's got stories.
Don't get her started.
Brenda says, look at them beautiful trees. God's amazing work. It's very pretty. They're starting to get pretty bare though, some of them. Barbara says, Mr. and Mrs. G, I love the color of your truck. Thank you. Joseph says she probably could shock you, LOL. I'm sure she could.
Yeah, we just kind of bounce off each other, to be honest with you. I don't know if she can shock me or not. I'm willing to take that challenge. Matter of fact, I want to give you a call a little later.
Barbara said, Mr. and Mrs. G, are you going to be able to take your grandchildren trick-or-treating? Actually, that is what the plan is for tomorrow evening. Is to meet up with the kids and grandboys and go trick-or-treating.
Yeah, we got with Mandy and Laylee and tried to coordinate the grandboys trick-or-treating together so we can be with them all. I don't know if Pete's going to be able to make it or not.
I'm not sure.
I think he's supposed to go to his mom's.
He has to go back to his mom's. Berdine says, I have learned over the years that Daddy was right. Don't tell everything you know. Keep them guessing, LOL. Mike Foley says, should I check my inbox? Goblin says, sounds good. Joseph said, I hope some of the drivers take Lee's advice and follow the G's too. Barbara says, you guys have an awesome time with a lot of fun. Cheryl says, can we see pics of the truck or trick-or-treater grandbabies? I'll make sure we take some pictures of the boys. I know Yoda and Laylee have the same costume, so Laylee's excited to see Yoda's Captain America costume. Rachel's Adventure says, hey everyone. Hey Rachel's Adventures, how you doing, hun?
How you doing?
She asked, how far is the long way home? We're 103 miles out. Mike Foley said,
It's not that it was far. What Miss G was talking about, it's a long way home, is because we just left a bunch of friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, basically we look at each other like family.
it just kind of makes the ride going back home, it feels like that long road home.
Yeah.
Mike Foley says, Mrs. G, shh, quit reading my comments. Just kidding. Goblin says, do you decorate your truck for the holidays?
No.
We haven't, no. Soren says, hi, Trucker G. And Jillian says, we don't have trick-or-treaters.
We never did for a long time either because we live way out in the country. We live in town now, so if we're home on Halloween, then we definitely will give out candy because I like watching the little kids all dressed up and I enjoy it.
It's been a long time.
Mrs. G enjoys it too, no matter how hard she tries to act like she doesn't.
Never said I didn't enjoy it. It's been, I was just thinking about how long it's been since we handed out candy.
Since our kids were little.
Since Laylee was little.
In Phoenix, Arizona, over 20-some-odd years ago.
So that was before we had moved up.
Because we've been in the country for that long.
Yeah. Barbie Gilden says, good afternoon, sweetheart.
I take that back. We gave candy away last year at the truck show.
Oh, that's right. At the American Truckers Jubilee. Stacy says, long ride, but stay safe out there on the road. Thank you, hun. Gary's Place says, are we driving in a circle? Keep passing that same Dollar General. Nope. There's just that many Dollar
I tell you
Generals.
one thing, those Dollar General stores out in the middle of nowhere, in all kinds of places. There's a place out in Oklahoma, there ain't nothing around.
But a
and
Dollar
then you get
General.
off, you go to deliver at Walmart Distribution Center, and there's a Dollar General right there on the corner.
Roy Strong says, have a safe trip back home. Thanks for the wonderful weekend with you. You're welcome, hun. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, I hope that some teenagers don't come do something to the trailer as a prank tomorrow.
No, they won't.
I doubt it.
We got neighbors around there too. And when we get over into Niagara where we bought the house, I ain't too worried about it there either because most everybody knows who we are.
Goblin says, looks like the weather there is nice. A bit overcast. Beeman says, I hope everyone checks their children's candy before they eat it. We're only going to the area we know. We always check our kids' candy.
I always check my kids' candy.
And it's been...
And I took out all the ones that were bad.
Like the Reese's,
and the
M&Ms.
Snickers, and the M&Ms. Yeah.
And now, see, our kids...
I'm pretty sure that one's tainted.
Since they're parents now, they get the pleasure of going through their children's candy buckets, too.
Oh, this one here looks kind of fishy. We better put it in this pile. Oh, look. That one's got a... Hold on. Small tear in it. You can't have that one.
Kathleen says, I really wish you could all make it to Michigan so we could have meet and greet at my house. My street is rated for transports. Elevator in next block. My driveway is big enough for a truck and trailer. I love to cook and bake, so everyone would be well fed.
She's trying to entice you. You had her at bacon.
Darlinda says, beautiful country. Mike Foley says, Bernine Schaefer, what's a bird banger, or do I even want to know? Charlotte says, coffee time, second cup, first one at 4 this morning. Hide. There we go.
Oh, Bill Weaver lives right down there.
Cheryl says, check the candy. They found fentanyl in Skittles and nerves. Myra says, afraid of the drugs. Cheryl says, in Minnesota. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, my mom used to take the dots and Tootsie Rolls. When we sent the Grand Boys candy, we sent Yoda Tootsie Rolls. And when he got them, Mook and Cody said they could hear him clear across the house yelling, I love Tootsie Rolls! Super excited. Lisa says, we have trunk or treats here in church parking lot, so don't see many in the streets in my neighborhood. Jen says, the city and a bunch of businesses do a sweet street downtown, so that's where everyone goes here. Then a few of the churches have big carnivals going on for the kiddos. That's awesome. Says throw out all the Skittles and nerds because of the fentanyl thing. Okay, Guardian says congrats on your trophy. Also, if I knew what was the best thing to do, I wouldn't have asked voting for the red tidal wave, because this current admin is bonkers. Been behind you all since TPC.
Yeah, it's about the only choice I have right now. But like I said, I'm not going to influence your vote. Your vote.
Stacy says it's so scary what they are doing. We need to take our country back. Diane says full-size candy bars are now like $3 a piece. I heard they were finding fentanyl in Skittles.
Somebody else said.
Kathleen says I live in a town of 2,500 people. Everyone goes out for Halloween. I have to work midnights. I enjoy dressing up for the kids. I have done it for over 20 years. terrified of the scary decorations. It's sad. He always been like that, even the ones in the store. Gary's Place says, Mr. G, I know where that Dollar General is.
Yeah.
Jan says, please no more politics today. We beat that dead horse enough. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, I used to like Halloween. Now I don't. I've always liked Halloween. Sue McGee says, so what's for dinner? I'm having pasta.
I'm still full. How about yourself?
Yep, still full. Kay Guardian says, God bless you, Mr. and Mrs. G. Enjoy Halloween with the kids. They are so cute. Peace to all. Happy freedom. Thank you, hon.
Dan don't let us leave the truck show full. That's for darn sure. Empty. That's for darn sure. He did this to us last year too, didn't he?
Yeah. Stacy says, I live in a small town. It's great when you get to know everyone. We have each other's back.
Yeah, that's the great thing about living where we live. You know, we don't worry about those things.
Brenda says, I remember my mom would set us out in town and we would trick or treat all the way through. No worries. Now you can't take your eyes off them. Yeah.
We still kept an eye on our kids, even though we were in a small town, just because we don't want our kids to do something stupid. You know how kids are. They get excited and they'll run out in the middle of the road and get hit by a car. I mean, anything can happen. So we was always there with them.
Sherry Beeman says, Christmas is my favorite, but it's very hard without our daughter, the grandson's mom.
I say we. It was Mrs. G that was there with them. But
yeah. I would take them. Dr. Pepper Jr. says we're going to have meatloaf for lunch, I think.
I like meatloaf.
Cheryl says gonna make scalloped potatoes with ham and bacon in it tonight.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna get on food now. I went from being bold when they're gonna get me hungry.
Dr. Pepper Drinker says we are going to Spencer's mom's house today. Awesome. Ray says I have a question that don't want to put in chat. Can I do a PM to you? Nothing bad, just a question.
Yeah,
Ray, you can reach out to G on the Trucker G page. Just send him a call.
Good chance. If it's a long answer, I'm gonna ask you to send me your phone number.
Yeah. Stacy says it takes a village to raise our children in a small town, and it does. That's why we love Niagara so much, and we're glad we're going to be back.
That kind of reminds me too, guys. Sometimes you will send messages, and if I ask you to send your phone number, if I haven't called you and I ask you to send your number, message again and say, hey, gee, you still haven't called me or something like that, because the messages end up getting buried, and I'm not going to call you at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning when I see your message, and I'd say, okay, well, when I wake up, I need to remember to call this person, and I always forget. So if you had a question for me and you expected a phone call from me or something and I haven't called, it's not rude at all. Please message me back and say, hey, gee, you gonna call me? I mean, I don't care if it's once, twice, 3 times. I'll call you back. I just end up losing the message and I can't find it because it ends up getting buried.
Mike Foley, yes, it's Bernine's birthday today. Diane says, my daughter and I will hand out candy this year, but the decorations not so much. I feel we have enough evil in our world right now. Feels weird celebrating it. Judy says,
I don't look at Halloween as evil, to be honest with you. I just look at it as kids have a good time. They enjoy it. It's only as evil as you let it be, as you make it.
Judy says, McRib for dinner, LOL. Kay Guardian says, I remember when neighbors would hand out homemade treats like caramel apples. Yummy.
I might have to get me one of them McRibs because I think I've heard somewhere where they're saying this is going to be the last year.
Mook, if you're still watching, because I seen you were watching, you better get you a McRib.
And I'm not really big on the flavor nowadays.
It's nostalgia.
But it's nostalgia from when I was a kid. You know, we couldn't afford McDonald's, and every once in a while I'd go with the church on a field trip, and I would get just those few dollars, and I was able to get a McRib or something like that, like the rest of the kids on the church bus. Kind of brings me back to them days, I reckon.
Brings back memories. Alma says there's a Walmart distribution center in Hurricane, Utah, and I work there in shipping.
Oh, right on.
Awesome. Sherry Beeman says Halloween is for kids, but some do make it evil. It's sad. Hang on. Hey, what's up? Oh no, what did Yoda say? He's ready.
You gonna share?
Okay, so Mook and Cody's family, they do deer camp, and yesterday was the open youth season. Well, today they're over at the land, and Cody's parents brought over their camper for deer camp, and they seen a deer out in the field, and it was flying. And so Yoda goes in and tells Mook, he said, let's go shoot some deer. And no one got up and moved to go grab a gun or nothing like that. So he says, what are you waiting for? Grab the guns. Let's go. He's ready. Oh no. How much longer does he gotta wait, Mook?
What's that?
To go hunt?
What?
He has to be 6, she said.
How old's Carter?
Same age as Squish.
Squish is 5.
Is he 6? Okay. That's right. He just had a birthday. He's like maybe, because Squish is in February. Yeah, Squish is in February. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Carter's 6. I forgot he's a few months older than Squishy. Yoda's ready. He's ready. Let's go shoot some deer, he says.
I was pressing that button.
Go check the grandmas. The cameras. He's so silly. Oh. That was cute. Alright, sweetheart. We love you. Alright, love you. Bye. I see Yoda running in there saying that too. Judy said yes. McRib, farewell. Gary's place says, is that a bug splat on the window? Yes.
Really?
It must have been a bug splat. His chip's over there by the GPS. K Guardian says, where I live, some have decorations that are red, white, and blue. Very cool. That was awesome. Sherry Beeman says, what was that about McRib? I like McRib, but I don't think it tastes like it used to.
Doesn't taste like it used to.
G was saying that I think this year is going to be the last year that they do McRib. Lisa says, sometimes you're the window, sometimes you're the bug from Men in Black. Rhonda asked, where are you headed? We're headed home to the RV, sweetie. Judy says, love my deer meat.
It's actually a song way before Men in Black, and I can't remember who sang it.
I thought so. to crazy place Jacksonville first, then down Tampa. You all be safe, all of us. Bobby
Mary
Rogers
Chicken
says,
Carpenter. That's who's saying.
oh, okay. Bobby Rogers says, take that boy to the woods and let him shoot. That's what we did with ours. Wasn't no age limit. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Remade by Dire Straits.
He's chomping at the bit, though. That's cute. And Yoda, he's full of personality, so I can just see him walking into the camper telling his mama, let's go shoot some deer. Stacy says nothing tastes like it used to. Gary's Place says, Guardian, I live in one of those little towns. Small towns are awesome. Cheryl says, I live in a small town too, under 1,500 people. That's big compared to where we live. I mean, that's like a city. Rhonda says, so good to hear your voices again. Listening to you cheers me up. I have been so depressed. Oh, sweetheart. Targeted says, you guys traveling up 65?
Yes.
I don't plug that phone in. It's fixing
Is it fixing to die?
it. Yeah. 4%. I think
Got it, didn't you?
Sherry Beavis says the colors are pretty even on a cloudy day. Johnson Haiti says, afternoon everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. We did, sweetie.
Good afternoon.
And your makeup for the haunted house is pretty wicked cool. Stacy says, small towns are great. Small towns are great. David said, how is the fur babies doing? They're doing good.
Being lazy.
Ethan says, my birthday was Tuesday, the 25th October. I am 22. Well, happy birthday, sweetie. Kay Gardner said, y'all have an after dark tonight.
Not sure yet. Let's see if I can stay awake that long.
Cheryl says, does that mean we have become a metropolis? LOL.
Bert and I go close to.
Yeah. Ray says, what is the last part of the bug that hits your windshield?
Oh, I can't remember. It's been
His
so
butt.
long.
Lisa says, I love living.
Oh, I thought they were talking about the song.
No. Lisa said, I love living in a smallish town in Iowa. Do not like cities at all.
And that goes, as far as the joke goes, it's the last part. What's the last thing that goes through a bug's mind when they have the windshield?
Judy says, they call it a village where I live. 2,300 live here. Debbie says, beautiful fall colors on the trees.
I think, what, mine goes at like 390, 370 or something like that.
I know it's under 400. Mike Foley says, I went from a place of 1,100 to over 700,000. Whoa. That's quite the change. John said, I had some pretty big dudes the feedback noise from the radio. John says, I love it when folks try to get in line and I scare them all the way to the parking lot. 3 times for the same person. I finally stood back in the corner and let them go in. Gary says, our deer herd out the back door is growing. Found babies.
Well,
Joseph says, happy birthday, Berdine.
happy 39th birthday, Birdie. We're back to work, shouldn't
I think so. Stacy says, this is what's great about dogs. They love you no matter what. Berdine says, I grew up in a town of 100 people. There were no laws till my brother got his license. Kathleen says, there are dogs, Mr. and Mrs. G. Just house them.
Yeah, when I was growing up in Niagara, there was no cops in Niagara. Only cops you ever seen were a
Marshville.
county cop that would come through.
Well, Webster.
Marshville can go to Niagara.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Just get the county, and they just come by about once a week. They'd come once or twice a week. They'd come and make a roll through the town. Other than that, they didn't come out unless they were called out.
Micro says, yeah, goodbye to the McRib. John said, had 2 guys the size of Taco Joe thought they were going to bully me, and I just roadblocked them and walked them backwards through the line. Scared. Berdine says, y'all are so funny. Thank y'all. We love you, sweetie. Diane says, howdy from Wichita Falls, Texas. Congratulations on all your awards. Pray for safe travels for you both. Know you'll be glad to get home. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Don says, safe travels from New Brunswick, Canada. Much love to our Canadian brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Stacy says, hey, safe travels. I have to go cook dinner. Love you guys. Much love to you, sweetie.
area.
No, I understand it. I look at an animal and think, you know, how beautiful this creature is that God created. But in the same
When they were
regards,
created.
they were there to nourish us. Andrew says, hi, Trucker G and Mr. G. Can I get a honk honk? And hope you guys have a nice Halloween tomorrow. Thank you. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, need a frap.
Not today, I don't think. Not feeling it today yet.
No, not today.
I need a nap is what I need. I don't need a prep, I need a nap.
Joseph says, agree with G. Cripple Creek is a good band.
Yeah, I thought they were really good.
They're very versatile, too.
I never did get my song that I requested. Yeah, guys, go over to Cripple Creek Gang, go over to their Facebook page and tell them, hey, G never got a song that he requested. Give them a hard time. I like them guys. They were really, really good. But I was going to say guys, but there was one woman.
There was a woman. She's playing the washboard. Did it
I call
very
everybody
well.
guys.
Andrew said, you're welcome. Gary's Place says, fur babies are always a good thing for mind and spirits. Poke Face says, great band.
Yeah, do so for me, guys. Do me a favor and do go over their page. And if you don't give them a hard time just about not playing my song, at least go over there and let them know you enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But give them that hard time.
Cheryl asked, what song did you request?
Drinking my baby goodbye. Well, I'm sitting on the bar stool acting like a dirt fool. That's what I'm doing today. Sitting here drinking, trying to keep from thinking I'm losing my troubles away. Well, I couldn't make a statement on her anyway. She can't say that I didn't try. Pour me another one. I'm finished with the other one. I'm drinking my baby goodbye.
Lisa says, too many deer around here. 3 ran out in front of my son's truck a few months back. He rolled the truck. Wow. I'm glad he's okay. Bobby Rogers says, heck, if we didn't hunt and kill deer, rabbits, and squirrels, and yard chickens, we would have been very hungry growing up.
You got to control the population of it too, because otherwise you wind up with disease. A lot of people don't realize how important hunting animals is.
And then the conservation comes into play, and if, you know, deers become too thin and there's not enough of them, they definitely come back. Cheryl asks, is that George Jones?
No, Charlie Daniels.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I didn't know if I was right. Dr. Pepper Drinker said, how did you film the music without a copyright strike?
I'm sure I got one. I just went ahead and let it go.
Yeah, I think on Facebook we did get one. Carol says, Mrs. G, can you put Link in for band? I like that song.
For what band? What song? The one I was singing? Or
Oh
Cripple
yeah,
Creek?
the one G was singing is a Charlie Daniels song.
Yeah, it's drinking my baby. It's drinking my baby goodbye, Charlie Daniels.
Sonia said, G, you sing great.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Brenda says, love you all so much. Company just walked in. Be back shortly. You enjoy your company, sweetheart. Have a good day.
Oh, I gotta shut this off. No telling what G's gonna say.
Gary says, I hit one of them deers right after we moved here. Wiped out our car pretty good.
Yeah, I've done her.
Denise in Florida says, we're crowding the deer out.
Yeah, it happens.
Gary's Place says, here on the scanner, the Bambies are always getting hit around here. Lisa says, he is okay, but truck was totaled. Well, I'm glad he's okay.
You know, what gets me with them deer is I can step out in the woods and they can hear me step on a twig from 100 yards, and it scares them away. But I'll be out here on the interstate with an 80,000 pound truck, laying on my air horn and they just look at me.
Bernine says, Daddy got me a bow and arrow for my 15th birthday, and I got my first year and about fell out of the tree when Daddy tugged on the string to get my attention. It was at 6:30 in the morning, and I had work till 2:30. I was tired. Kathleen said, chicken and dumplings is ready if anyone is hungry.
Oh, yeah. I ain't hungry, but that sounds good.
Cheryl said, gee, your voice is sexy no matter what you say.
Oh, easy now. Don't give me a big old head.
Target says, keep your eyes on to the east, just past Wessex State Park. Just before Highlandville, you should be able to get a great view of Hensmore Manor. Judy Blackman says, afternoon, G's. Congrats on your wins, and it is awesome how you donated back to the cause. Hope you have a safe trip home. I see where they say you have arrested a guy for the Abby and Libby murders from Delphine, Indiana. Hopefully it's the right guy.
No, I had nothing to do with it.
No, she said she's seen where they
Oh,
arrested
okay.
the
I
guy.
was gonna say, yeah, I had nothing to do with that.
Charlotte says, yes, they were good, but they reminded me of a band from the past. Can't remember who they are. Hee-haw. Target says, it's a monster of a castle being built by a software developer.
if those front tires are coming close to the line, know that trailer is going to come close to that line. It's coming at you. That front tire goes over the line, know that trailer's coming over at you too.
Lisa says, I'm 5'4" and weigh 125 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd trust it. I sure wouldn't want to see you get hurt.
Yeah.
I'd much rather get a ladder and an extendable brush and make sure you're totally safe.
Or have one of your kids do it.
Yeah, there you go. Even better.
Gary's Place says, gotta keep the herd healthy. John says, more of those interesting road cuts. There doesn't seem to be a roadside geology book for Arkansas. Darn it.
We're in Missouri now. We crossed over.
Grace, it's so true. Mr. Bob says, your opinion of drivers who text.
Should have their license pulled.
Okay, she's talking about an awning on a house. She said it has 4 supports attached to my house / sliding.
Oh, if it's got a roof and shingles up there, yeah, you're fine, sweetheart.
It's an awning.
What kind of awning?
When she says awning, I'm thinking of like
Send me a
metal
picture.
awning.
I would feel a whole lot better before I answered that if you sent me a picture of what you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about a covered porch or an actual awning. Awning, she's telling me it's got 4 supports.
Yeah, that's attached to her house and siding.
That sounds more like a lean-to to me.
It could be.
And if it's a lean-to, built onto the house, then I would say you're all right. But I'd much rather you send me a picture before I tell you, hey, you're okay.
Bobby Rogers says, gotta go take some meds. This lupus is whooping me this weekend with all this rain. Everyone have a great day and God bless you all. God bless you too, sweetheart. Mr. Bob says, I'm thinking of having Italian for dinner. You okay with that? You have whatever you want to eat, sweetie.
Hey, I like Italian food.
Gary's Place says, that's where the deer in the headlight came from.
Yeah, heck, I've had them not move out of the way with no headlights.
John says, wow, how did I miss the border? I'm slipping. Lisa says, if this awning can hold Michigan snow, can it hold me? No shingles, aluminum.
Oh, I would say so, but I don't.
I'm going to watch you fall.
You got to remember, snow's displaced evenly, and you got all your weight on just
one spot at a
one
time.
spot. Yeah.
Ray says, after driving truck for 30 years, I drive my family nuts when I tell them what someone is going to do when driving. Just tell them it's an act. Stephen B says, hey guys, congrats on your award, and Mrs. G had something to do with it also. Don't forget, LOL.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying.
What you were saying, yeah. Mr. Bob says, my wife is Canadian. Awesome. Gary's Place says, where do you think the deer in the headlight eyes came from?
Like a deer caught in the headlights? Is that what you're talking about? The old saying? Is because if you shine a spotlight on a deer, they'll stop.
They freeze.
Another thing you'll find is you'll sit out there in a tree stand out in the woods, and if a deer's running by you can just make a noise. You can, ah, and that deer will stop dead in its tracks for a second to look around and find out where it's at. And that's the best time to take your shot. Or let's just say they're walking through the brush, and just make the slightest little and they'll stop for a second, and that gives you the ultimate time to take that kill shot. The deer's mechanism is to freeze. That's their self-defense mechanism. But yeah, go ahead and step out on there.
Scott says, what were her symptoms? I know her doctor was keeping an eye on her, so, and keep tracking the growth since it was spotted. Dr. Pepper Drinker says, your sister okay after surgery? Yeah, she's at home and she's resting. We didn't keep her on the phone too very long because you could tell, you could hear in her voice that it was raspy and everything and having the thyroid surgery. So we just wanted to check on her and tell her that we love her.
It was a very, very short phone call. Usually if I call my sister, we're on the phone for
We talked for a while, yeah.
But I told her yesterday, I think we talked to her about a minute and a half.
Yeah, it was really
I
brief.
just wanted to make sure she's okay, and then I told her, okay, shut up, I don't want to hear you talk anymore. You
Get off the phone.
get off the phone.
Mona said, had a
And I
great
think that's how I put it, wasn't it?
It is. Had a great time watching you all last night. It was awesome. Long Haul Paul, he is a great singer and performer.
Yes, he is. He's a very good man.
Yes. Canadian Freedom Fighter says, good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. G. I enjoyed the convoy from the Children's Hospital last. Hope the both of you have a great day. Thank you, and the same to you. Gary's Place says, Missouri, I have relatives there too.
I've got to tell the story of this morning. We're there sitting and we're ordering our food, and everybody's ordering, and it comes around to Denise, which is Paul's wife,
Right.
and Paul was ordering for Denise, and he asked, how would you like your eggs?
Or do you want eggs? Is what he asked her. If she
Yeah,
wanted eggs.
yeah. He asked if she wanted eggs, and Paul said, "No, I see here that you guys have cage-free eggs. She prefers hers caged."
It was funny.
It was funny. He had to be
Yeah,
there,
everybody giggling.
but I don't think any of us was expecting it.
Kathleen says, I liked the story last night about the guy's description of G and what he found his real size.
I get that a lot.
Levon says, I wouldn't step on Ani, not made for weight. Too flimsy. I think Bernie had a great idea. Use the power washer from the rooftop.
She's irritating him.
She is on purpose. Gwen says, Branson, you are not too far from home.
No, we're pretty close.
Scott says, what were her symptoms? Exhaustion. I can't remember. I do know that she went for a checkup, and it's been a while back. And the doctor found the growth, and
She's been dealing with it
he
for a while.
he monitored them, and they noticed recently that they had gotten larger. So he wanted to go ahead and remove them, but I guess when he got in there, he found out they were bigger than what they had thought.
six people, six or seven teammates,
Yeah.
and so they had to be very well conditioned. Otherwise, so if somebody fouled out, there was no subs.
No.
They had to play the whole game.
And
There was no getting tired.
And the coach.
Or if somebody fouled out, sometimes there would only be 4 guys on the court.
Yeah. Bub, he put his heart and soul in to play defense, and he was really good at defense.
He was very good at defense.
You know, and like I said, he played since he was in 3rd grade, and Bub was a little guy. So, you know, these other kids from other teams and other schools and stuff like that, they'd look at Bub's size and they'd underestimate him. Oh, he's just a puny little guy. We can just like plow right over, bulldoze right over him. But Bub wasn't taking it.
He was very quick.
Carol says, right, I quit watching NFL after Kaepernick stunt. I like Mahomes and Chiefs, but my favorite is college. Go Huskers, even when they're losing. Judy says, I like all kinds of sports. Barbara says, Mr. and Mrs. G, have a great day. You too,
also.
sweetie.
Yeah, I don't get into too much sports.
I really miss going to watch Bub play
I like
basketball.
watching high school basketball. I can sit there and watch the whole game and not get bored with it.
Mook was a little toughy too out on the court, because her and Bub, when they were younger and they were playing up in the courts in Springfield, they were on the same team. She was the only girl on the team. She was mean. She was. And she'd go out there, you know, one of the other people on the other team, they'd hurt one of her teammates, and she had her eyes on him. And I don't know how many times I remember her I'd be sitting in the stand, and she'd come up and she'd say, hey, Mom, did you just see me clothesline that guy for what he done to so-and-so?
Yeah, it was borderline wrestling for her.
And Mook, she's like, I'm like, Mandy. She's like, wait, did you see what they did to Little Dave? Or to Bub? Or, you know, to Joe? And
they're laughing at it. Watch.
And they're laughing. And her coach, he'd hype her up too, because again, she was the only girl on the boys basketball team. He'd hype her up.
They're making fun of you, your girl.
Exactly. He'd tell her before the game started, you know, them boys are over there, they're talking about you, and you know why they're pointing over here and they're giggling and everything is because they're saying, oh, she's just a girl. No problem. And Mook would go out there with a vengeance.
She'd go over and sit on the bench after going get pulled off the court, and she'd tell the coach, he ain't laughing now, is he? While he's crying.
Yeah.
He said, Mandy, hooray. Volleyball
Rain says, has Mr. G ever hit a deer? They are bad this year.
Oh yeah.
Carol said, yep, Team Mom running up and down the field. Exhilarating but exhausting. Oh yeah. You know, it was like they get out of school on a Friday, they had a game up in Springfield. I have to make sure they had food in the rig to go and get there, and then by the time we headed home, you know, they had their homework to do, especially if it was during the week. At that point, Lay was she's older than Book and Bub, so she was working, and you know, she didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with us when it came to that, unless she had a day off. Carol said fishing, relaxing, catch and release.
Oh, I don't know about release. I like to eat me some fish.
Targeted says top of the hill should be able to see the castle. Well, thank you for reminding us.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it. Patty Bernard says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, hon. Cheryl says, there is a challenge to fishing. Who wins? Me or the fish? LOL. Ray said, I hit a deer once. It was delicious. No sense in letting it go to waste, right?
Yeah, if I can, I'll cut the back strap out. If there's anything left of it.
Oh, I see it.
Anything back in there?
Yep. I see it. That's pretty cool. Carol says, I used to eat the fish lots of nutrients from farm. I used to eat the fish lots of nitrates from farm land runoff.
Need to run over to Sam's Club to get Slim Jims.
Yeah. Kathleen says, try going to custom hood ornaments, hoodfits.com
Okay.
to get one made for you. I sent you it also in Messenger.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Where are they based out of?
Carol says, gorgeous colors. Cheryl says, Slim Jims and Dr. Thunder.
My staples.